start streaming.
So a buddy of mine had a Patagonia shirt, and I'm like, oh, that's nice. I should look for that. And I looked for an REI. This was like months ago, before the summer. And then this popped up across the Facebook thing, like, oh, here's a shop. I'm like, well, zoinks. Let me go ahead and fucking get that. Because kills two birds.
Now, where did you get this?
It's a brewery in Ben Salem.
Okay.
It's called Broken Goblet Brewery.
Nice.
They just released it on the 3rd. No distribution. Like, the only place to get it is at the brewery.
Mm-hmm. All right, Scott! Hey, help us out with sound, Scott. Just make sure that we all sound good. So this is me talking.
This is Dave talking.
And this is the fake guy talking.
Yes, he does exist.
We upped our CGI game for tonight's episode.
Yeah.
What's today? Today's Wednesday. All right.
Sure. It's been Friday for 6 days for me, so... And tomorrow is hopefully my last Friday.
Let's pop out the chat window.
You still didn't swap out. Can you swap this out still? Or did you have to do it before the thing starts? Remember?
No, I can do it live. What am I swapping it out with?
That image I gave you that has the... It's just a cleaner image and it has the pod belly embedded into it.
Do I have that on my desktop? That is the question.
You did at the time, because I know you swapped it at least once. Scott says it sounds good on his phone.
New logo? That one, right?
Oh. Yep.
All right, we're doing this live, folks.
As we tend to do.
As we always do. Delete.
Did I get out the book? No, I didn't. I started to.
Yeah, I haven't even seen it, though I did see somebody flipping through it. I think somebody posted it in the Facebook group. It might have been Bronco Fett.
Yeah.
He what?
He was the one who originally brought it up, I think.
Yeah, he...
It looks a lot like this.
Yeah, there was some stuff in there that I keyed in on when I saw them flipping through it.
Yeah. Nick actually probably looked at it longer than I have. But we can do it live. Definitely some interesting things to talk about with the timeline.
Yeah, the timeline is a big one. The space map is another one.
Oh, this one. Yeah, I spent probably most of my time looking at this.
Yeah.
So.
This is the problem with that. It doesn't scale very well to the bottom bar.
It's vectored. It should scale fine.
But now it's leaving a bunch of blank space.
So put Big Swede's emblem in there. Can you download that real quick?
His emblem?
His logo emblem. I don't know.
My emblem. My signet.
Yeah, there you go. His signet.
Is it on your Facebook page or your YouTube page?
There'll be something on there. I don't know.
That? I don't know what I'm looking at. Or just the logo, the Excellent Adventure.
You could do Tactical Swede.
The Tactical Swede one. It's the same.
Where am I seeing this?
You have to go to the other page for that one.
Do you have a link in your own description here? I don't know if I have the Tactical.
Maybe
Swede.
go to About. There might be a link in there to it. There you go. YouTube.com/C/Tactical Swede.
Why does it do to /C? I don't get it.
I don't know. It used to say like channel, and then I guess they just shortened
Oh, that's what the C stands for. I think we were wondering that when we got our own, when we got the...
Yeah, we're like, oh, there's this extra C in there just to fuck with us.
What the hell's a C about?
On to the next one.
Hope the Knights of Ren are in the book. You're in luck.
Yeah, you are in fact in luck.
All right, we got Tevin, we got Kelly, we got Big Swede. Whoa, what's going on?
Oh,
why is this happening?
Because there's a video playing.
Guns.
We are professionals.
Yes.
Oh shit! I didn't actually save your logo.
Do you have a Patreon?
I do, but
No. Forget you.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, put a Patreon thing in a blank space because I don't have Patreon represented on the thing.
It's a bummer that doesn't show up better. It's just a red light.
It's a big glowy.
It's an orb.
So many pops.
bags, huh?
Yeah, it does.
Wow.
It's disconcerting.
Like that's way
Especially because he can see us
live.
live.
Mhm.
And so he'll be reacting to something that I can't see for seconds.
Yeah.
Like that.
As right now, yeah. See, there's me pointing at the. It's crazy.
Everything is happening now. It's
It's
happening,
happening
now.
now. When will then be now?
Soon.
All right, there we go. Jesus Christ.
I don't see anything. There's no
Try-
change. Whoa!
Hey now.
Yeah, see, again, we're doing this live. So,
Well, you told me last time to remind you, and you would do it. So that's what I did, and now you're doing it.
that a little bit. All right. Thank you for your patience, everyone. Ooh, I do like how it's very misaligned along the top.
Yeah.
So all the OCD people are just gonna freak out.
Yeah, I don't have control over that side of the board, so there's nothing I can do about it, guys.
Mm-hmm.
I
could
have to not stare at that all so long.
Yeah.
Dave,
Or the fact that you're covering up the pod belly.
Logo.
Yeah.
there's only so much I can do. All right.
Where there's a will, there's a way, Jason.
Fine. Move this. Move that. Resize that.
Nothing if not professional.
And you got the not professional part right.
Right. So not only do we have Scott, we have the Used and Abused podcast is in the chat.
Oh shit.
Damn.
So does that mean one of them's Kim?
I don't know, I feel like Kim logs in on her own.
That is true. She don't need no man. She logs in on her own.
Shit. Speaking of, I need my phone so I can do the reviews.
Yes, that's what I was trying to ask you as you were bitching about my setup.
No, I was actually setting the light up when you were mentioning that.
No, I mean just now I was gonna say something.
Oh, okay.
But you were
bitching
complaining
at me before about something else.
Yes.
Why are you in there in an all black fucking shirt like this?
I just grabbed like the first thing
Are you putting on your Kylo Ren costume next?
Ooh, I should. I should do an entire episode in the Kylo Ren mask.
And you'd have to adjust your voice.
Yes.
Look how old you become.
Yeah.
We
Something
know
far
you've got
worse
the
has
map.
happened to you. We
Now
haven't seen
you're
that
going
movie once or twice.
to give it to the
Can't
first
believe
order.
This glass is broken. We might have to put this up in the archives
Yeah.
so I don't
and
slice
acquire
my
new ones.
friggin' face open.
That would be very entertaining.
That would be
though.
great. Yeah, on the
Yeah.
air.
Yep, on air Dave bleeding. Yeah.
From the lip, just oh god.
I probably wouldn't even notice. It'd probably just be like, and somebody in the chat would be like, "Is Dave bleeding?" Question mark.
Yep.
All right, so go to pod.
It is hot in here. Did you turn off the heater?
I did.
Okay.
The heater is off.
Is the Death Star too distracting? Let us know also.
I wonder if we change the color of it, if it'll come up better.
When you guys were testing it last week, every
did the
color
same
just
thing.
looked like a colored
Yeah.
globe.
Yeah.
We'll
it out.
figure it out. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll fix it in post.
Sure. Yeah, I put a note in here about
Jason's mother-in-law, apparently. Is that
what's the username?
Jason's MIL?
Oh. She's not subtle, is she?
Quite literally.
Yeah. Oh, this is perfect. Do I need to read in a voice, or can I?
You do whatever you feel is right.
You do you, bro.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, that red stag is really good.
It is. That's why I'm not drinking it.
Smooth.
Mm-hmm.
Very smooth. Oh my god.
All right, are we all
Red balls.
ready?
It gives you wings. Dude, we had a. What was that? That was this week, right? We went on a little a 15-minute Chappelle
Yeah.
thing with Charlie Murphy.
Rick James, bitch.
Rick James, bitch.
Fuck your couch, Charlie Murphy.
I have to say, and this may be an unpopular opinion, but I think the Prince episode is better than the Rick
We
James.
watched that one too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It started with that one.
Game blouses.
Blouses.
They got on the same shit they be wearing at the club.
Some
Yeah.
pancakes.
The story is definitely better than the Rick James story. But the fact that they have Rick James basically sitting there and saying, why would I do some shit like that to somebody's couch? So there I was grinding my boots in his couch. And then it rewinds.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong, the Rick James one was fucking brilliant, but I mean, I just like the Prince one better.
The whole fucking thing is brilliant. And it's such a shame that we can't just sit and watch it and enjoy it anymore because of the social justice warriors that would be sensitive for the people that this would potentially aggravate. But whatever, fuckers.
All right, we're ready to get it rolling.
Fuck you.
Well, I guess we'll kind of when we get to the main topic. I'm sure it's gonna take a while to get there. We'll just fucking wing it, man. Just pop open the book and we'll just pass it around and
do it live.
Do it live. All right. Well, it's Nick's toast. So.
I got a good one too.
Oh, nice.
All right. So.
Came prepared.
I did.
All right.
Tom wants to hear Hank.
Let me. He does like Hank. All right. We are recording. We are streaming. Okay. If you guys are ready, 30 seconds of silence starting now.
To the talented group of visual effects artists who tirelessly worked on the mocap CGI that allowed me to be here in studio with you guys today.
Yes.
To those guys.
Yes. Yes, the All Things Star Wars special effects crew doing work today.
Yes.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to All Things Star Wars, the greatest Star Wars podcast in the galaxy. I'm Mr. Jason Roscom. With me here each and every single week, the Darth Vader to my Palpatine, Dave Martin. Hello, Dave.
Hello, Jason.
How are you?
I'm a little disturbed by your all blackness here.
Yes, yes.
Without the Kylo Ren mask, it's very disconcerting.
Is it? Yes. Like I'm going to a funeral or something?
No, it's more like you're... You know what? Never mind. That's not an appropriate joke. I'm not going to make it.
Wow.
I'm going to go ahead and restrain myself because we have a guest in studio.
We do. So, he exists.
I am real.
He is real. The
Damn it.
Host of Big Swede's Excellent Adventure, Tactical Swede. You've heard about him all over on this podcast, and he is real, and he's spectacular. Welcome to the studio, Nick. How's it going?
That's great. Great to be here. Definitely cool to actually get here and see the other side of things. Like I was saying earlier, it's like the dark side of the moon, the side you never see.
Right.
The side that you don't see.
Yeah. Except for the couple other people who have been, lucky enough to join us here on the show.
I've traveled near and far. I mean, he's traveled across another state to get here.
That is true.
You know, he has crossed borders and
Pennsylvania.
Yeah. All the way from PA.
Yeah.
And I just got to say, I'm kind of getting a little tired already of all of these Eagles fans guests on the show. Like,
well, good luck finding a 49ers fan.
Well, I don't want your fucking, shit season to start rubbing off on me and the 49ers because we're still in it.
Oh,
so,
stop it.
So, yeah, I need your guys' fucking shit luck to stay on that side of the table.
Whatever.
So, push it over to
Whatever.
you.
I'm going to take all the 49ers shit in here and run my balls on it. And that'll take care of that.
Wow. Okay.
And you're going to want to, if they win their next game, you're going to want to fucking wrap the flag around you and go running around the neighborhood. Little do you know, I've at least wiped my ass with it once. And you won't know what part.
Oh,
Enjoy
man.
pink eye.
All right. So, before we get too off topic, what are we talking about today?
We are talking about the Star Wars Rise of Skywalker Visual Dictionary with exclusive cross-sections. Dun, dun, dun.
Yes. This has actually been getting a lot of coverage lately. Some interesting stuff in this. I guess there's some things that were not in the movie that are kind of explained in this guy. We're going to talk about it. There were some other things that I wanted to focus on a little bit, so we'll get there.
Yep.
But we've got a lot more to get to. before then.
Whoa.
Whoa.
In the chat, Scott Rasmussen, a fellow 49er fan,
Yeah.
as I know, he says wearing all black proves Jason is now a Raiders fan.
Wow, Can we block him from the chat? Is there a
don't
way
know.
to that might be the absolute worst thing you could say to me right now.
Yeah.
Moderator
I mean-
powers in here.
I know I think that might be perma ban worthy. Sorry, Scott, but you've crossed the line with that comment.
Damn.
So
See, I think he thought he was being funny, but little does he know that Bay Area fans can't do shit like that.
yeah, well, at least
Oh,
it was,
damn. See, I just saw Scott's other comment that Rocky Johnson passed away. That's
no shit.
sad news for us wrestling fans.
Yeah,
Father of the Rock.
Yes.
yeah. And he was a second generation pro wrestler. The Rock was a third generation pro wrestler. So
Has pro wrestling been around that long that we
Yeah.
can
Oh, yeah.
say third generation like that?
mm-hmm. Oh yeah. And I mean, I think he was
Wow.
the first third generation, but there've been a handful since then.
Yeah.
So
That's fucking crazy.
yeah. So
Boo.
rip Rocky Johnson. All right.
Anyway,
So
jeez. Way to bring it down.
yeah, we've got a few things to get to. First of all, just want to give a big shout out to all of our Where'd my list go?
I don't know.
God damn it.
All
Sorry.
of our fuck.
I am prepared. So I want to give a big shout out to all of our Patreon supporters: Tony Ferrari, Camille Donovan, Nick Jackson, Frederick Martin, Big Lovin', Scott Rasmussen, Tactical Swede, Don Solsky, and Shotgun Mark. Thank you everybody for supporting us. You are the reason why we do this.
We're not over with the snaps yet.
Never, ever,
Fuck!
ever. For as long as it pisses you off, the snaps will exist.
Snaptastic.
I'm going to vow right now that I will not mention the snaps again.
Yeah,
Well-
we'll see how long that lasts.
Ignore it. See, ignore it. It'll go away.
Yeah, I'm going to really, really try hard.
No, it's not gonna happen.
Anyway, not gonna happen.
So, if you want to support the All Things Star Wars podcast, please go to patreon.com/ATSW podcast and support us there. Anything you give us goes right back into the show. We really appreciate it. So, thank you everybody for your support. Dave, what else we got?
You can also support the podcasts of the Podbelly Network. You gotta give me a 3PO. You gotta give me a better lead in than that. So, podbelly.com. Pig out on a network of podcasts that feed your listening needs, and you will do it.
Wow.
There is every week when we look at this, the list of podcasts available on Podbelly grows. It's grown at least by one. I think I don't remember seeing the Project Reclamation podcast before.
That sounds new, yeah.
Yeah, so there's just really, really cool stuff, paranormal stuff, and just shit like that. The Sofa King guys, obviously an excellent choice for those who are interested in really, really funny but a lot of information.
Yeah, a lot of
in
deep
a podcast.
conversation.
Yeah, it's one of those that if you have an hour drive, you'll be engaged for the entire hour.
Yeah.
And of course, right at the top, still, number one is us,
Goddamn right.
the greatest podcast in the galaxy, the All Things Star Wars podcast. So support podbelly.com. And if you do listen to another one of those podcasts, give them a 5-star review and tell them that the All Things Star Wars podcast sent you.
Yes. So, one other thing that you may have noticed if you're listening to the audio version of this podcast is we had some new stuff pop up in our audio feed over the last couple of weeks. And
indeed.
that are the new episodes of the Escape Pod.
That are.
I realized it after I stopped talking. But, yeah, we mentioned it in our last episode 133, that the Escape Pod guys were starting their audio podcast. We are hosting them on the All Things Star Wars audio feed. So that's that. I don't think they're going to be every single week. They mentioned that they're not recording this week, so we'll get another episode on the 22nd.
22nd is the next one.
So, but yeah, if you see that pop up in our feed, why am I
Wow.
doing
That
that?
are.
Wow. English, motherfucker. Do you speak it?
Yes. So, yeah, that's the Michigan guys doing the Escape Pod. Listen to those guys, give them some support, follow them on their social media, and you will do it.
Yes, and they are official. They have business cards now.
Yes.
So I know what's next. They have to have stickers.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of,
Must have stickers.
did you get, like, we solicited from our Patreon supporters addresses so that we could send them things. Did we ever get those? Jason, come back. Here, over here. Come on.
Sorry, what?
So, based on your drifting away, I'm going to go ahead and assume that you have not.
I have not sent anything out.
Well, it's not even that part.
I'm stupid. You're smart.
If we have the addresses,
you're the best.
pass them
I'm
to
the worst.
me, and then I will mail them out.
You're very good looking. I'm not attractive.
As long as we know this now.
Yes, we will. It will get done. I promise you. I apologize.
What is this? Jason, have you talked to Brent about the Use and Abuse podcast? Again, he drifts off into the nether. Jason, come back. We need you. We need you here for the rest of this podcast. If for nothing else, so you can click the buttons.
Yes.
Even though you're going to ignore our loyal fans.
I will not do that. Moving on.
I'm here for you guys.
We got some 5-star reviews.
We do. So, let's see. I think I'm going to have Hank come over and read this one. Let me see. Yeah, let's do that. So, Hank, you ready? It's gotta warm up my voice. I'm back here. I'm off in the distance. The only Star Wars podcast I listen. ... I'm assuming it's listen to. I only got see this little bit in the screen. Is there like if I hit it, it won't get bigger.
That sounds like you're kind of. Oh, never mind.
Anyway, don't see. Anyway, I feel as if I have no choice but to listen to this podcast. Also, it is almost like I know them both personally, and if I wait long enough, they will ask me for ice. And that's from Supergirl 30,000.
Should be 3,000.
There's definitely 4 zeros there.
Oh, okay.
So Supergirl 30,000.
Bravo.
An extra 0 for more snaps, apparently.
Thank you.
And then the other 5-star review we have is, damn it, it doesn't show the whole thing. Son of a bitch. So it says, best Star Wars podcast I've ever I'm going to go with heard. Yes, I agree. Heard.
Okay, so this is an issue with your phone. This is not the people.
Apparently, if I hold it sideways, no. All right, whatever.
Jesus Christ.
I will read anything that I can see. How about that?
All right.
5 stars. These guys feel like family. I love listening to them. Keep it going. And this is from Jason's MIL. So
she's not subtle, is she?
Yeah. Feel like family. Well, since I'm not family and Nick's not family, then I'm glad to be a part of the family.
Yes.
Let's just put it that way. And thank you for the 5-star reviews. Keep them coming.
Yes.
Share us with your friends.
Because again, if you give us a 5-star review on iTunes, we will read it verbatim. Whatever you write, we will read.
Any review you give us on iTunes, we will read it. But if it's less than 5 stars, then it's going to get the appropriate treatment.
Yeah, you will be ridiculed. So, moving on.
I have something.
Oh, what you got?
Before we go any further,
Okay.
you know,
The guest speaks.
as per tradition, you know, the guest on the show, I did come bearing gifts.
Woo!
So
I love gifts.
I know this isn't keto, Dave, but
God damn it.
but you know, it's still cool to display.
Oh shit.
What you might have seen in my glass here is actually a really cool beer. It's by a brewery in Bensalem, Pennsylvania called Broken Goblet Brewery. This is their This Is the Way Moss Isley IPA. So I figured I'd bring you guys one of those.
This is the way.
It is the way.
This is the way.
Oh my! Well,
I have
thank
spoken.
you. Oh man.
And Nick, are you going to share with us the translation
I can
on the
share.
side? So on the side of this can, I'm not sure if the camera's going to be able to pick it up, but on the side of the can, written in Mandalorian, is a statement that I'll have to admit that Nick told me earlier.
Yeah.
That his lovely wife actually had gone and found his notes
Because I forgot them.
and of course busted his balls mercilessly.
Thank you, love.
Yeah, she fit in well with the rest of the group.
Yeah.
Busting our balls, that is.
Nice.
That's awesome. I love the stainless look of the can.
Now you did mention display, but I have a feeling this is going to be consumed
yes.
sooner than later.
Now Dave, on the other hand, maybe
If you want to consume mine, you can. I would prefer not to. We can
That's
keep
fine.
one of them sealed.
Or I could just call up Nick in a couple days, like, hey, give me another one of those.
But the translation on the side, if you want to know, it says, "How does a brewery reinsert itself into the hearts and minds of craft beer zealots? Brew more IPAs. Keep using the same basic recipe and swap out one hop. Make sure to use lactose. Ensure there is no bitterness. Make it hazy like a glass of OJ that's set out for 3 days.
Accurate.
Keep it very small so FOMO sets in."
Like my dick.
Fear of missing
Wait,
out.
what?
And finally, have your family rate it highly on Untapped. This is the way.
This is the way.
This is the way. Nice. Well, thanks again, man. I think I'm going to be consuming this tonight.
And then second,
Woohoo!
courtesy of my boy Brett, who is my tattoo guy, who's done all my Star Wars work.
We're gonna get to your body art.
We got some Mando stickers there.
Awesome.
This is the way.
Is the way. Oh, that's crazy.
So
It's even better. In
thanks
person.
again for having me on, guys.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
Cheers.
Enjoy.
Damn.
Jesus. In the sticker, it almost looks like the Baby Yoda's in like broth, like he's making a soup out of the Baby Yoda. Put this right on the laptop. All right, very good. So 5-star reviews are over. Wanted to touch on a little bit of Star Wars news. Thank you, dear.
No problem.
I was like, it's an early call for ice. Jeez. Thank you.
So, Rise of Skywalker is kind of at the tail end of its theatrical run.
That was quick.
It was. And I think that's more of a product of just movie theater, the business model, Hollywood, the way they're constantly churning out stuff. Even at this time of year, you would think December, January, there wouldn't be a bunch of high-profile movies coming out. But goddamn, there's all kinds of stuff. Like, I think this weekend was the mass debut of 1917, which is getting a lot of attention, and the new Bad Boys, right? Is the new Bad Boys out this week or next week?
You have not seen Bad Boys 2. Sorry, that was a movie quote.
Okay.
Do you not know what that's from?
No. Uh-oh.
All right, I'll give you a hint. It's got Simon Pegg in it. Hot Fuzz?
I don't remember that part.
Get the fuck out.
I've seen Hot Fuzz. Anyway, you're derailing my train of thought, Dave.
Duh, that's what I do.
Anyway.
I have one job.
So yeah, it's kind of at the end of its theatrical run because I was looking to go to the 4DX again. We saw the 4DX, the three of us together saw it a week and a half ago, roughly.
Sure.
Yeah, and I wanted to see it again. I loved the 4DX. Wanted to see it one more time, and unfortunately, I had to work this weekend, which we'll get to when we get to our weeks. But yeah, I never got out, and then I was looking for times for this weekend when I'm actually off again. And it's not playing at that theater in Pennsylvania, the other 4DX theater.
Yeah, Warrington.
Yeah, and it's not playing at the place where we went to also, the King of Prussia. And it's just a little bit disappointing.
Yeah, much like when you posted your thing and you tagged Regal and they reposted it.
Mm-hmm.
I did the same thing because I went a few days later. I took my son to the 40X because he wanted to. I was talking about it. I was like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
He's like, well, I want to go.
Mm-hmm.
So we went again. To the Warrington one this time, and they did the same thing. I posted, us sitting there, and they posted it again in their story.
Nice.
And I remember seeing like the next day they were saying like this is the last week to see it in 40X.
Yeah.
So, end of the run kind of stuff.
Yeah, it kind of sucks.
Probably putting 1917 in there.
Right. Yeah, which, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm sure it's going to be a great movie, but I'm a little disappointed I didn't get to see it one more time in the 4DX. I'm sure there's some other lower theaters that are still going to be running it for a while, but for the most part, it's ending its major theatrical run. It's going to pull in probably about $500 million domestically, which is still pretty damn good. Obviously not as much as The Last Jedi or Force Awakens, but not that far behind, and then it's already crossed $1 billion worldwide. So...
How much did it cost them to make?
They haven't actually released those numbers yet.
But $1 billion, Disney's not hurting.
No. I mean, I guess it's the difference between Bob Iger buying another island or him just buying another yacht, So ultimately, yeah, it was a success financially, but it fell short of the other two movies. I still think Rise was a great movie. I'm a little disappointed that more people didn't go out and support it, but whatever.
Well, and I agree with you. It would have been nice to actually get the fan base back on board, but I think the nature of how, I don't know, the citizenship is right now, or however you want to call it.
The fandom?
Yeah. No, it's not even the fandom, because the fandom would imply that they are actual fans.
Right.
I think it's more along the strap hangers that feel like, oh, we're going to, whatever social media is telling us how we should feel, that's how we're going to feel today. And I think that really affected how people took in this movie. And because they decided that they were going to, Ryan Johnson was on the right track, and now we're suddenly going to, not like this other movie. That's okay, fine. I don't agree with it at all. And it's like with this is a little microcosm, like in our little Star Wars world, where like we pay attention to these things and we talk about these things a lot. It's just a short snippet of what's going on in the real world. In the real world, with real issues, people have these same views. They are allowing themselves to be so polarized. And I mean, don't get me wrong. We came out of Last Jedi and we genuinely had a bleh.
Yeah.
Until we saw it in subsequent viewings and decided, like, this is Star Wars. We're going to find the things that we like about it and then continue with that. The things we don't like, and that's cool.
Yeah.
And I'd have more respect for somebody that goes out there and says, I didn't like it because of this.
Right.
As opposed to saying, it's not what Ryan Johnson was doing. I don't like it. Okay. JJ could have fucking laid a huge egg here with this. We talked about it before the movie came out. He's not known to be a closer. He's self-professed. He's not a closer when it comes to movies and things like that. He did it a little bit unwillingly, but he went out there and he's like, you know what? This is the send-off. This is the fireworks at the end of the fucking 2.5 hour display. I want to make sure everyone's wowed by the end of this. And if you want to say that, I'm not going to support this movie because it doesn't follow the same social justice warrior track that Ryan Johnson started, that's on you. Disney made their money. Like, the only point that you made was that you didn't go.
Yeah.
Cool. So you didn't get to enjoy it. I tell you what, you're probably going to get it on a fucking streaming service. You're probably going to download it, just because you didn't support it in the box office. You call yourself a Star Wars fan, then you're going to watch it some way or another. And you need to know full well, much like we did in 1997. Could you have imagined, even in 1997, and we'll probably get to Nick's kind of history of his fandom, but 97, when I was in Keesler and those fucking movies had come back out, even though the special editions were coming out, and even though it was a special edition and everything else, can you imagine not going? I'm not going to go. It's the special editions. I'm not going to go see it in a movie.
Well, and that's kind of my whole point too, is the fact that the theatrical experience is special. Getting to see it in the theater, especially with people you care about, family, friends, whatnot. It creates these memories, so you have these strong feelings. In addition to seeing a good movie on the screen, you're sharing it with these people that are close to you. So.
Well, and it was in the promotional materials for those special editions is, the TV screen. And it was for years, this is the only way people have been able to experience Star Wars. And then the X-Wing comes through and boom, 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 and boom, big screen. And
that was a brilliant way to introduce.
Hell yeah, I'm going to go see that,
Because generationally, that's how a lot of people got to see it. It was on VHS, or they watched it on because it was on cable somehow.
Yeah.
And I mean, we've talked at length about how we initially saw it, but I think a great example of this is also the 3D release of The Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
I went and saw it because even though I had feelings that The Phantom Menace was not my favorite of the Star Wars movies, I think Jar Jar Binks was annoying. What are they going to do to this in 3D? And when am I ever going to get a chance to see it in the theater again?
Right. And,
and taking my kids to be able to go fucking see that was part of the experience.
Right. And I remember that time frame, and I remember thinking, it's Phantom Menace. I don't really care that much, and I didn't see it. And to this day, I regret that. Like, I wish I had done it, just because, like you said, the chance to see it on the big screen again after all those years. And when would you ever get that opportunity again?
Yeah, I had it planned out in my phone. Like, this is when it's going to be releasing, so I'm following it, and I'll go and I'll see all of them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as much as I can, because that's where we are with our fandom. You know, and I think people that are choosing to allow the momentum of whatever the internet is telling them to do, and they're going to make their decisions based on that, then I don't want them to see the movie. I'd rather go back to, we've talked about it before, I'd rather real fans go back to being like Star Wars fans. I don't care if it isolates us again. I don't care if we go back to the fucking the late 80s when we were giant nerds and nobody fucking talked to us because we were into Star Wars and shit like that.
Yeah.
So what? Go for it.
Mm-hmm.
Who fucking cares? Because now we have access to all these things and we can like what we like.
Yep.
And people are free to fucking dislike it too. But dislike it because you watched it and you're like, no, I generally don't like it. Cool.
Yeah.
Whatever. I can respect that a lot more than I can respect somebody that decides, I'm not going to go in the theater because these critics said that it's this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Fucking see it for yourself.
The whole critics versus fans thing has been brought up, and I definitely do not like, I still see it in articles, like they tout how, the Last Jedi, which still has a 91% score on Rotten Tomatoes. Yeah, the critics score.
Exactly.
What does the fan score say? The audience score.
Mm-hmm. And you look at movies like The Joker, you know, same exact thing. Critics really shit on it because of certain, you know, political climate things, and you look at the audience score and it's in the 90s. So it's so stupid that politics has bled its way into like our fandom, like our
They
things like Star
sidelined
Wars.
Rose Tico. Fuck you.
Yeah. You could say fuck. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's all right. We say it a lot.
She can take her 76 seconds of screen time and like it.
Yeah. So
Is that how much it was? 76? Exactly.
76
Right, yeah.
seconds.
Love it.
sidebar to that. So, did we talk about last week how The Last Jedi hit Disney Plus over the last couple of weeks?
We brought it up.
Yeah, because I've been watching parts of The Last Jedi on Disney Plus because that's the beauty of having a streaming service like that. You can just go and watch whatever parts you want.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, I'll give Rian Johnson credit. Some of the parts, some of the things that he did on that were actually really well done from a cinematography standpoint, from, you know, some of the dialogue and some of the interactions with the characters. Again, going back to mostly the Rey, the Kylo Ren, Snoke, Luke, that stuff. I thought a lot of that stuff was really well done. And I know we kind of generalize just shitting on The Last Jedi overall, but no, it had some good redeeming parts. It's just, you pretty much cut out anything with the Resistance, you know, purple hair, Poe, Finn, Rose.
Oh God,
you cut all that stuff out.
While we're on
it's
this,
not a bad movie.
Give me that book. Give me that book real quick. You want to see a fucking great picture. Speaking of purple hair, hang on.
But I mean, so while he's flipping through that, you cut that stuff out, and there's some really, really good stuff in there. And yeah, it's a shame that it was sandwiched between, you know, two big piles of shit. Yeah. So,
and, you know, I've said in the past with the Last Jedi, like the whole Luke storyline, it's not a direction that me, you know, Nick Svensson as the director would have taken that story, the writer director. But if you take all that out of it and just look at Mark Hamill's performance in that character, he did phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like, it was a great job that he did with the character he was given.
Oh yeah.
So I kind of look at it as that. I look at it, you know, in terms of, yes, as a whole, you know, not that wowed with it, but like there's certain pieces of it, like you said, are really good. I mean, the visuals in it are great.
Yeah.
Look at that picture of her dumb ass.
Oh God. Oh.
This is the visual dictionary.
You think they did that on purpose?
This is the visual
Just to
dictionary,
make
the
her
Star
look
Wars
like shit?
visual dictionary, which we actually are going to talk about at some point today. And the picture they got of Haldo, it looks like somebody is goosing her as they're taking the picture. She's got this like surprised, take that out of my butt look on her face.
So,
Or maybe that's her like, I like it, keep going face. I don't know. Are you going to use that ice?
I'm not. I'm drinking beer.
so
Beer's not keto.
there was a big story that popped over the last 24 hours or so. I don't know if you saw it. Dave mentioned that you like to look at a lot of the rumor clickbaity websites. So did you see
Just to get himself all worked up.
Yeah.
Did you see the Colin Trevorrow leaked script?
Yeah. Hashtag who cares?
Right, and that was kind of what I pointed out in the notes is, yeah, they released some of the details of his script, allegedly. We don't know if it's 100% true, but I saw it reported on a lot of legitimate websites.
Yeah.
And, yeah, it's kind of like, who cares? Because, A, it's not the movie we got, so why dwell on it?
You didn't get it, you're not gonna get it.
Yeah.
And every fucking movie ever made ever has a version of the script that was not made.
Yep.
Right. And,
Because that's how it fucking works.
yeah, and quite frankly, I read the synopsis. I wasn't that impressed. I'm glad we got the version that we got because there was no Palpatine for the most part. There was some other Dark Lord like Palpatine's friend in the dark side or some other. It's a bunch of bullshit. It
Very
sounded
Holdo-esque,
dull.
like, oh, suddenly this friend from nowhere becomes
Yeah.
an admiral and now takes over
Yeah.
when Leia fucking goes fucking Space Mary Poppins on everybody.
Right. It did not sound very just enjoyable at all.
And then the quote that Rose Tico would have had a much bigger role in this
right.
in this supposed script, and I was like,
Good.
glad we didn't get to see
Yeah.
that.
I mean, doing what exactly? Like fucking changing out fucking lug nuts on
like,
something?
I just don't get the fascination with that character. Like,
yeah. Well,
she wasn't.
she was going to be dealing with climate change on Coruscant.
Yeah, she was.
Oh,
in
well,
this
you know,
movie.
obviously that was way more important than any other type of fan service we may have gotten,
Yeah.
or closure in certain characters,
Yeah.
or I don't know, fucking bringing Red 5 out of the fucking lagoon and flying it through the air so I can get a giant erection.
Yeah.
I mean, what possibly? I'm so disappointed now. I mean, I don't know how I'll survive.
Like, what purpose did she serve in The Last Jedi other than going on a pointless side quest that meant nothing in the overall scheme of the movie?
Nothing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's-
And again, nothing against Kelly Marie Tran.
No.
I'm sure she's a lovely person.
Giant
She's
fan.
she's
She-
actually
she
cute.
does.
She's
And
actually
she
cute.
has
Yeah,
a
she's
very
very
nice
cute.
rack.
She's
And
while we're talking about that, nice racks in Star Wars, Nick brought this up earlier, like, and he was talking to Brett, his tattoo guy. The fucking did JJ deliberately like kind of make like the sex up everybody a little bit? Like Rose looked good, Ray looked really good. Like there was definitely some like, hey,
and what's
we're-
her name?
I don't.
Yeah.
Like,
Pose girl with the
Yeah.
mask.
Oh,
Zori Bliss.
yeah,
Yes,
Zori, like
Zori.
with the tight ass.
But yeah,
fucking-
Well,
Brett
yeah.
was saying he's like, you know what, like in Force Awakens, which is he loves Force Awakens. He's like,
Yeah.
that's one of my favorite movies.
Yeah.
And he's like, she was cute in that movie. He's like, but I'm watching the Rise of Skywalker, and I'm like, damn, she's hot. And
Yeah.
he's like, I don't know what happened between the first movie and this one, but she got really hot.
Yeah, I think JJ did some treatment to the film to just make like, hey, don't forget these are attractive female, and they're also like this is the female lead. The whole fucking movie, the entire trilogy is about this fucking broad. Spoiler alert for all the fucking social justice warriors. Like, there's not enough women in power. Guess what? Guess what? The whole fucking thing is about a broad. So,
Oh man. Wow.
Anyway.
That was.
Great.
Oh.
what are we talking about today?
So anyway, Rise of Skywalker, the Blu-ray and DVD has already been announced. It's available for a pre-order. Allegedly, Walmart leaked the release date. So on their website right now, I verified it this morning, they are saying April 14th for
Okay.
the DVD Blu-ray release of Rise of Skywalker. So I'd be willing to bet, this is just a theory from Jason Roscom, that it won't pop up on Disney Plus until probably about, say, May, maybe the 4th of May,
And that's what
something
I'm-
like that.
That's what I'm wanting to know is when is it going to be on Disney Plus?
Because they're not going to do it day and date
No.
of the DVD Blu-ray.
Because they
release.
want to make money off the Blu-ray.
Oh, yeah. Well, and in addition to that, we've got some exclusives, right? Best Buy and Target each get their own exclusive version of the fucking Blu-ray. The Best Buy, again, gets the steel book. Target gets the, like, a little flip book with, like, pictures and shit. But more importantly than those is we're also getting a Skywalker Saga box set, which you called a couple of weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
You've got a standard Blu-ray version that's going to be $130, but you've also got the 4K UHD version for all 9 movies, mind you, where I'm pretty sure this is the first time we're getting the original trilogy and the prequels in 4K.
Right.
For $250.
But is it going to be the McClunky version?
Probably.
Probably.
I mean, realistically, it's probably going to be the newest cut of the original trilogy,
Probably.
which is fucking retarded.
Yeah, probably. But even that being said, this is one of those things where 40 years down the line, when you've got VHSs on the thing here, you've got a player that will play VHSs.
Mm-hmm.
Getting it in this format. Now, we know that the Blu-ray medium and the DVD medium is not permanent, right? So just because the nature of the medium, it's not permanent. But yeah, I saw that.
That's my friend Kelly, by the way.
Oh.
Kelly
What's up, Kelly?
and Christopher too. I'm assuming they're together.
Yes,
Yeah,
husband wife.
Very good. Hi
What's up,
guys.
Chris?
Totally derailed.
That squirrel.
But yeah, get it in Blu-ray, get it in DVD, have it in all the formats, have it digitally. I'll have it any way I can. That way I know. I even say we had this conversation about iTunes shitting the bed. The chances of that happening in our lifetime are probably pretty small. The nature of digital medium being the way that it is.
Sure.
Apple, if they do ever lose those rights to that particular, digital format, they'll get bought by somebody else. Like Google absorbed that or something. There'll always be a way to get to that content. So, but knowing that you have a fucking magnetic tape that has the fucking movie on there, and you have the appropriate magnetic tape player that will play it, there's some solace in that. And I'll probably buy whatever set I can afford at the time until I can afford the bigger set.
Yeah.
And I'll have it, and I'll just put it on the shelf, just like I have the Blu-rays right now for the first 6, and that'll sit, and I'll enjoy it via download, and I'll make sure that those stay as pristine as I can make them in a climate-controlled box.
Like you were talking about, like you're wanting to collect all the soundtracks on vinyl.
Yeah.
Like,
No.
Who
I'm
really
not.
plays
I'm not
vinyl
doing that. I'm
anymore?
totally doing.
Who plays vinyl anymore? But it would be cool to have.
I would. That's one of those things where, like, especially with LPs, and I think we talked about this briefly, and I know that Scott and the Use the Abuse podcast can speak to this probably way better than I can, but I do know from an audiophile standpoint that vinyl is going to retain its playability to infinity, so long as it doesn't melt. The way that
take care of it. Yeah.
The sound is imprinted on the disc.
Yeah,
so long as you
like
take care of it,
like a hard.
it's a hard surface,
print.
and it's.
Whereas we talked about this several months ago, CDs and DVDs essentially have a half-life. Allegedly, like over time, regardless of how well you preserve them, they will eventually just erode and
that medium. It's because it's that metallic flaking and it's going to deteriorate unless it's kept in a very specific temperature and everything else, which you're not going to do.
Right.
I mean, it was never meant to be permanent. That's why when you back up hard drives, you're doing it still either on a magnetic drive or you're doing it on an SSD. You're not putting it on a CD medium because it's not permanent, air quote.
Right. So yeah, as we get closer to the release date of these, we'll talk about it more. There have been no real. Nice.
I believe I just got invited to speak at the Idaho GOP summer conference. I'll have to see what my schedule looks like.
All right, yeah,
How's that?
that's good.
Do I have to?
do
Do I have to do it in that voice?
Yep. And
So then, yes.
Scott says vinyl is back, and it actually outsold CDs in 2019. And I believe it.
I 100% believe that.
Yeah, because I think
100% believe
CDs have been completely usurped by digital, but vinyl, like people are still crazy about vinyl.
Listen,
I haven't bought a CD in I don't know how long.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would.
I'm in the same
It's all
boat.
digital now. Like,
Yep.
Yeah, on digital, or I find something that I really want in vinyl. Like that, it's one of those things. Like, if I can own every John Williams joint on fucking vinyl, I would do it. I'd be broke, but I'd fucking do it. And then the rest of the money that I don't have, I'd spend on a fucking record player that I could actually like maintain forever.
Right.
And that way I can and
I wasn't gonna say that, but
and pops, all the pops,
Yes,
all the pops. I'll sell all the pops and get all the LPs that I want. But it's just one of those things where if I know that this thing I can encapsulate it, bury it in the fucking ground, and somebody's gonna dig it up at this point and say this is the fucking Mozart and Beethoven of our generation, that's it. Then take out the LP and fucking play it and listen to this. Listen to the story and imagine what it is.
preach.
Yep.
John Williams is the fucking man. I don't know how we got here, but John Williams is the man.
Goddamn right. So moving away from all that and kind of putting more of the focus on our guest today. We've got a whole Q&A session as we do with all of our guests. But first, Dave kind of touched on it a little bit. Take us into your Star Wars fandom, Nick. A little bit, like your history, how this became such a big part of your life. I mean, obviously, you like Star Wars enough to have it permanently etched on your body. So clearly your fandom is there. So
Yes.
why don't you...
So I was born in 1977. A couple months after A New Hope, or the original Star Wars. It wasn't A New Hope at that point. But I was born a few months after that. The first movie that I remember, have actual vivid memories of going to the theater and see was Return of the Jedi.
Right, which
in
is the same for me.
83.
Yep.
And something about going to see that movie, it was just something different, and this fantasy world, and you had these cool characters, and man, I was all about it at that point. I kind of ebbs and flows throughout the years,
Sure, yeah.
In the span where Star Wars disappeared for a while. I mean, I had my VHS copies and I'd watch them and everything. But really, when the special editions came out and then the prequels started coming out, that's when I really started getting back into it full force.
Yeah, and that's funny because my fandom pretty much mirrors that exact same pattern. It was, big into about the mid '80s, and then it sort of died off when other things kind of started popping up, like your G.I. Joes, your Transformers, He-Man, shit like that, and it kind of died down for a while, even into the '90s. But then it started to see this resurgence with the books, and then, like you said, the special edition, and then the prequels. So. Did you read much of the expanded universe stuff, the Legends material?
Back in the day, I didn't. I'm not much of a reader. Honestly, most of my Legends material has been through audiobooks in recent times now.
Okay.
So I didn't really start getting into a lot of the Legends stuff until the last few years, really.
Okay.
But I did. There was a couple things I read here and there. But like I said, I'm not a big reader. Like people that like to read, and they talk about how they read it and they can picture it in their mind, like it's like a movie playing in their mind. I don't have that mechanism.
Yeah.
So when I'm reading words and I get nothing. But the cool thing with audiobooks is if I'm listening to it and I'm not actively reading it, I do get that.
Yeah.
So audiobooks are awesome for me. I've just been tearing through a bunch of Star Wars stuff on audiobooks.
Yeah, and we've been talking about it on the show. The quality of these audiobooks lately has
great.
just been
the production is great on them.
Yep. So any other questions, Dave, before I get into the rest of my canned questions?
No,
here?
go for it.
All right, so we have a series of canned questions that we ask pretty much all of our in-studio guests.
Did you want to put them up there? I mean, we have Tactical Swedes channel
okay, yeah,
up there.
We've been looking at that quite a bit.
I'm a little jealous.
Right. So... what were your thoughts on Rise of Skywalker?
Rise of Skywalker, I thought, was everything that it needed to be, everything that it should have been. I think JJ did a phenomenal job with what he had to start with. I look back and I think what this sequel trilogy could have been had he directed all three movies. Because especially the first half of Rise of Skywalker, it was just flying by you. A lot of stuff that he really had to throw in there to kind of try and explain things, but really didn't explain a lot of things well enough that to where we would have been satisfied with.
Right.
But I think, like I said, considering what he had to start with, I think he did a phenomenal job. It was great. It was what the real fans out there wanted to see. So I came out of there, as many thumbs as I could give up. That's my rating of it.
Excellent. Good. So that's pretty much the same way we felt. So I probably don't have to ask, but what did you think about Mandalorian?
Oh, Mandalorian was fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Again, it's like everything that we love about Star Wars, like that. Favreau and Filoni, those guys, Kathleen Kennedy needs to go away, and they need to take Favreau and Filoni and put them in charge of Lucasfilm.
Make them the co-kings of Lucasfilm.
Absolutely.
They get it. They get what Star Wars is all about.
Yeah.
And, man, dude, Baby Yoda, come on now.
Holy shit, does their, and I know we've talked about it before, but god damn it, doesn't their fandom just bleed all over? They are Star Wars
Yeah,
fucking fans.
And it comes through in the products they put out that they love this shit. It's not just their job; they love it.
Yeah, and it's the little subtle things too, like when it's two scout troopers just sitting around, fucking around,
And,
trying to shoot a piece of debris on the ground and missing every time. You know?
Pew pew.
It's just like dumb little shit like that. But all right, so this is probably the most important question. We ask everybody this question: marry, fuck, or kill Padme, Leia, and Rey.
Ooh. I'm a happily married man, and I would have to decline. But in this fantasy world that we're living in right here,
Yes.
I kind of have to go along the same lines as Keith did last week.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge Padme fan. Sorry, Dave.
What the
Sorry,
fuck,
Dave.
man?
And
Where do we find
honestly,
these people?
I think it's I credit it to George Lucas and the dialogue. Like she's so robotic in the dialogue in those movies that it just something about it turns me off.
So mute it.
Okay, yes. She is attractive.
So I mean, is she your kill? Is that what you're telling us?
Yeah, I'd have to. Yeah.
Wow, no way.
Leia was like, my first love. So, have to marry Leia.
Okay, all right.
And then, Rey, like, as we talked about in this last movie, she's pretty hot.
All
so
right.
that's my fuck.
Okay, I like it. So, what is your favorite Star Wars movie?
Favorite Star Wars movie.
And it doesn't have to be a Skywalker saga. It could be one of the Star Wars stories, if you're so inclined. Or
there's kind of two, like, one for sentimental reasons would be Jedi, because again, that's the first movie I ever remember seeing in the theater, and that's what kind of started it for me. But looking back at all of the movies, Empire, it's hard to beat Empire. Just how like in A New Hope, you see Vader, and you get the sense that he's this bad guy, but it's almost like Tarkin is the boss man, and Vader's kind of like the muscle.
True. Yeah.
And in Empire, you get to see Vader like just as a complete badass. I mean, he's fighting Luke, and he doesn't even have to use
Choking
a lightsaber.
out
He just stands there and like throws shit at Luke with his mind, and just everything about that movie, the reveal at the end, it's hard to beat that one for me.
So you're saying Empire.
I'm saying Empire.
Okay, fair enough. Who is your favorite Star Wars character?
Canon or Legends?
Whatever you want.
Well, actually,
I have a feeling I know this
actually,
answer.
since he is now canon, which we can talk about with the visual dictionary there, we got to go with my boy Revan there.
Nice. Yeah, Revan is
great. Yeah, great
So
character, great book. I hope they make a movie about it.
Yeah, and so all right, so kind of taking a sidebar on that, what do you think of this whole Keanu Reeves
I would
Revan?
Fucking love it.
Would you?
That
I
would
would love it.
That would be pretty awesome. I mean, I don't because
Keanu's awesome.
and even if you just go with what the fans are producing, like the fan pictures and putting him in Jedi robes,
They look
and
good.
fucking that. Keanu would be perfect for the role. Even his delivery I think would be good for Revan.
I am an FBI agent.
Listen, we don't need to be busting on Keanu Reeves
I
on
like
this podcast.
Yeah. No, I got nothing against Keanu.
I think
so.
Point Break is an underrated movie.
Point Break is good.
Yeah,
But, like,
it was a fun movie.
I look at Keanu as like pre-Matrix and post-Matrix, because he
Yeah.
did basically two totally different things.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yet they're doing a third Bill and Ted.
yeah, well, and dude, I cannot wait for
What a
that shit
huge
either.
money grab. I mean, holy
shit.
holy fuck, if that's not hey, all these fucking millennials that now have expendable income, yeah, we're going to go ahead and make this movie so that you fuckers will come spend money on
Right.
it. Like,
and-
just gratuitous fucking...
And
Make it rain in
guess
this
what?
bitch.
I will be at that theater to watch it.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, so moving on to the lightning round.
Lightning round.
All right, so these are non-Star Wars related questions. There is a right and a wrong answer to each of these.
okay.
So hopefully you do well. So first question: Scarlett Johansson or Gal Gadot?
Gal Gadot.
All right, that is correct. Favorite non-Star Wars movie?
Ooh. I'm a big Kevin Smith fan, so I would have to say Clerks. Clerks is awesome.
That is correct. All right. Chocolate or vanilla?
Chocolate.
That is wrong. Sorry. Who's the man?
He's right.
John Williams.
John Williams is the man.
I'm sorry. The correct answer is Jason Roscoe.
That'll never be. That'll never
I don't
be
think.
the correct answer.
Has anybody ever
And
answered
the
that?
first fucking
Not
person that comes on here and says Jason Roscom, I'm going to drag them out live. I will drag them out and I will beat them in the street live.
I don't know if the camera.
Go ahead.
The camera
Moving
will
on.
reach that far.
Oh no, they'll be.
What is the answer to the great question of life, the universe, and everything?
42.
Okay, very good.
Yes.
Favorite video game of all time?
Ooh, I'm a Call of Duty guy. I love Call of Duty. Modern Warfare. Modern Warfare 3 used to be my favorite video game. Now it's the new Modern Warfare, which is it's pretty much Modern Warfare 3, but with updated graphics. Is essentially what it is.
I would agree with that.
That is acceptable. All right, favorite band or musical performer?
Ooh.
This is a musician that we have on the show.
Oh, I know. He was talking about it before.
See, that's hard for me.
You don't have a single favorite.
I have a lot of favorites.
All right, well, you got to pick one. So
And it can't be John Williams. We've already.
yeah.
That's a cop out.
Oof. Yeah,
We know he's the
John
best.
Williams would be great. Yeah. I'm gonna go with a guitar player. The thrill is gone. I'm gonna go with BB King. BB King's one of my favorite guitar players of all time.
All right, I can respect that. We'll,
Yes.
we'll give you credit for that
Absolutely.
one. So I need to insert now for each question, make a ding for a correct answer.
That would be
So-
brilliant. That would be absolutely
so future
brilliant.
Jason, edit the correct ding into each of his answers. So all right, very good.
And Scott, don't give up. Scott Rasmussen in the chat. Don't give up your answers to these questions, because if we have you on, we want to be surprised and be able to do the appropriate level of ball busting. Should you ever be on the show, because you are a proud supporter of the show.
Yes,
so.
and we are set up now for calling guests through Skype or whatever. so-
Allegedly, I have yet to see this actually.
and we will do it.
That is a good movie, by the way.
A Few Good Men.
A Few Good Men. Yes.
Yeah, there was a Few Good Men reference in my college class last night that I proceeded to derail the class, much like I
handle the
derail the fucking podcast. I derailed the class via chat by getting us on a fucking Few Good Men fucking
Nice.
quote tirade.
That's
So
great.
it was fucking brilliant.
And speaking of movies and military movies and whatnot, I'm actually really looking forward to Maverick. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
but
Hell yeah.
that I never thought I would ever want a Top Gun sequel. And when I first heard about the fact that they were making one, I'm like, what? Yeah, but seeing these trailers, I'm like, I want to see that.
And the kind of the behind the scenes of how they made it, like the filming and how they're doing it, like everything is literally inside. They're actually flying around in an F-18.
Yeah.
And they have cameras in the cockpit, like
The fact that they can get these high resolution cameras now, like
IMAX quality camoras.
yeah, in the fucking cockpit, so that a fucking backseater can look like he's flying the fucking airplane
Yep.
with all the fucking G pushing and everything else that's going on.
Phenomenal.
God, I'm with you. I can't fucking wait.
Yeah, and when you watch these trailers and you see Tom Cruise fucking boom, like
Yeah.
going to the back of the seat,
Yeah.
like he's in a
And
fucking
like
jet.
and like they're pulling G's and you can see their face, like
Yeah,
you
Yeah.
can't replicate that.
no,
Yeah.
there's no movie set in the world. There's no CGI that's going to replicate somebody getting ready to fucking black out.
As,
Yeah.
as someone who's like been in an F-16 pulling 9Gs before, there's no thing on the earth that's gonna replicate that feeling.
Yeah,
So what I'm thinking is we need to go see that in 4DX.
Hey.
fucking A
And
right.
then we
Yeah.
can come back on the show here and kind of
Hey.
have a sidebar
Hey.
discussion.
Hey!
So let's talk about your tattoos. So you've got several Star Wars tattoos on you. I don't know how
and
well they're
more
gonna be able
to
see
come.
on the YouTube, but I can see like the first thing that stuck out when you took off your coat when you came in was the Revan.
Yep.
I saw that first and
That's
foremost. So,
the freshest.
so on your forearm you've got the Revan,
Yep.
and then
Two lightsabers, and then
moving up you've got Darth Maul.
Darth Maul there.
And then
And
above him you've got Boba Fett.
Boba Fett. Yeah.
Are these
My boy.
some of your favorite Star Wars characters? Like, why these particular characters?
So the original idea I had was I was gonna do dark side, light side sleeves.
Oh, I like it.
But the more I started thinking about it, like light side characters, just they're not visually interesting to look at. Most of them are humans or humanoid. So the more I started looking at them, like some of my favorite characters are the ones that look visually cool. Like Maul. I love Maul. Like I Phantom Menace, I was like, really? They killed him already?
Yeah.
And then that's why it was great to see them bring him back in the Clone Wars and Rebels. Like I'm a huge Maul fan. I love Maul. Revan, like once I started reading the legend stuff, I read that Revan book, and God, I was like, this is a movie that needs to get made right here.
Mm-hmm.
So, I found some cool stuff of Revan, and I'm like, I'm going to put that on there. Obviously, Boba Fett's one of my favorite characters from, like, the original trilogy. Another reason why I love The Mandalorian is that whole Mandalorian culture. I've always been a fan of that kind of stuff.
Nice.
And there's a lot more to come. I'm getting Vader up here.
Oh,
I'm
sweet.
getting Palpatine throwing some lightning on here somewhere. And now the plan is that I'm gonna continue Star Wars baddies onto this arm
So
as
you
well.
just go dark side on your
just-
left side now too.
and
Why
you know
not?
what? And that kind of falls in line with my philosophies. The Jedi, they're out of touch, man.
Yeah,
The Sith is where it's at.
Yeah, because good is dumb.
Yes.
agreed.
Clearly. All right. So you got anything else for Nick there, Dave?
No. Yeah, I would have had to have prepped something mentally beforehand because
You would have had to have known that he was going to be our guest today.
well, not even that. Even though I facilitated that, but it's more like we're bullshitting most of the day.
Right.
Like
Facts.
so we're talking about all things fucking Star Wars and football, and it's like a mini episode of the fucking podcast going on daily in this Stand-Up office. So
Nice.
like I would have had to have like come up with something that I was going to be surprised at, and I'm not going to do that. I'll
you
let
would
you
have had to have like made notes or something like that.
yeah, all of those things. All of those things, and not actually worked today.
All right.
Well, I can give you something that we talked about earlier today.
Ooh,
What?
Is this the thing that
My little
Oh,
project that I've
yes,
been
I
working
want to
on.
hear this.
So,
This is great.
So, as was alluded to before, I do have 2 YouTube channels, to be honest.
yeah.
I have, like, my main channel that I started is Tactical Swede. That one's, like, geared towards guns and weapons and kind of outdoor survival kind of stuff.
Weapons are his religion.
Yes.
Nice.
Facts.
This
This
is the
this
way.
is the way.
This is the way.
But I do have a lot of other hobbies. The Star Wars, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
I'm into a lot of tech stuff. I play guitar. I snowboard. So I wanted to be able to do videos about other stuff too, but not necessarily. I already had a good following on the other channel, and I want to just start throwing random stuff on there in case they're not interested in it. Then they're like, screw this, I'm gonna leave.
Sure. Yeah.
So what I did is I was like, I'm gonna just start a B channel for my catch-all, is like everything else that I like to do, and that was what Big Swede's Excellent Adventure came from, and I
like it.
stole the Bill and Ted's Excellent, So I did that, and I do all kinds of different videos. It's like potpourri, the flavor of the month, whatever I feel like doing videos on. So it kind of came up in the last time we went to see Rise of Skywalker in the 40X. Around Christmas time, we were talking about earlier, the ET Comcast commercial came out.
Yes. And just to kind of sidebar real quick, I take real exception to this because they got the original actor who
Yes,
played
yes.
Elliot.
Elliot, yeah.
They got like this new ET fucking animatronic puppet thing, and I'm like, if you're gonna do this, make a real fucking sequel. Don't do this and make a fucking Comcast commercial.
It was like a 5-minute long commercial,
Yeah.
the real commercial.
Yeah.
Listen, that Elliot, like, it was Elliot aged.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, hey, here's an actor that's still working in the industry. This was
no,
like,
it's the actual
this is-
original actor.
it's the guy
Yeah.
who's obviously done nothing else.
Yeah.
He's probably been working at some fucking Comcast Xfinity store, and they pulled him out and said, hey, wait, we were going to use you for a commercial, because he does not look like he aged well.
He was in one other movie that I remember besides E.T.
Yeah.
Was it a porn?
No, it was with Brad Pitt. It was where they were like brothers in like the fucking Revolutionary War or some shit.
Get the fuck out.
Yeah, like he died in it. But I saw it with this
Spoiler
girl.
alert.
Saw it with this
Jeez.
girl I was
For
trying
this
to bone back in high school, but that's
Stupid
beside the point.
movie. That
So,
stupid
anyway,
movie.
sidebar. So
yeah,
go ahead.
So that movie or that commercial came out, and they're playing the ET music in there again. John Williams.
Yep. Brilliant.
Spoiler alert here. So that kind of got going into my head again. I haven't watched ET in a long time. I loved it when I was a kid. It was a great movie. John Williams did a phenomenal soundtrack again.
Yes, he did.
So we went to see Rise of Skywalker 40X, and it was like my 3rd time seeing it, I think. And we get to that scene where Luke is pulling the X-Wing out of the water, and they're playing that Yoda music from Empire Strikes Back when he pulls it out of the swamp. And yeah, great, goosebumps.
yeah, every
um,
time.
So we get to that scene and they're playing that music, the big crescendo, and then it kind of trails off. And for some reason in my head, the E.T. music started playing. And I was like, huh, that's weird.
Yeah,
that
and they are very
they're
similar
similar.
themes. Yeah.
So I just got this idea in my head. I'm like, I'm gonna go home, and I'm gonna pull the Empire soundtrack. I'm gonna pull the E.T. soundtrack, and I'm gonna kind of like match them up
Sure.
and see how well it matches up.
All right.
So all that to kind of get to the backstory of what I did here is there's this meme. And you said you hadn't heard this before, which actually surprised me. There's this theory, just one. I'm not one for Star Wars theories, like
Bullshit.
Like-
He looks at every one of these
Yeah,
fucking clickbaity
I-
articles
I-
so that he can just get angry
Like-
all day.
And
Just
that's the thing. It's like I don't like subscribe to the theories. I just read them to go, that's fucking stupid.
he'll come in. I'll be sitting there. I'll be working on something. And I'm on the keyboard, and boom, the door flies open. He comes walking in. It's like, you would not believe this stupid bullshit, right? And proceeds to fucking. I'm like, dude, this is why I don't look at this shit.
Right.
Because he's so. By the time he leaves his desk to get to mine, he's fucking just. He's completely frothed. He's all worked up. It's fucking great.
that's
but
good
but
shit.
anyway, like I said, I don't like subscribe to these theories. I just like to make fun of them. But like this is one of those ones where it's it's kind of hokey, but it's fun. It's just something I like.
Sort of like Indiana Jones is Han Solo's dream when he was frozen in
Yeah,
carbonite.
yeah.
That
So,
kind of thing.
just one of them fun theories. So this theory says that E.T. is a Jedi, and there's this meme that shows like a bunch of stuff that link E.T. and Star Wars together. So it
Right.
starts out with like Yoda. He's a well-known member of the Galactic Senate and everything. And in the Phantom Menace, you see in the Galactic Senate there are representatives of E.T.'s species
Yes.
there. So
yeah, that's a very well-known reference.
nice,
Yes.
nice little cross there. So you have E.T. characters in Star Wars. And then you get E.T. who comes to Earth and he meets this kid. And another cool little cross here, really not relevant, but just a cool little cross thing is Elliot at one point is playing with Star Wars toys. He's got
Right.
I
Greedo
think it's Greedo and
Hammerhead or
yeah,
something
yeah.
Well,
like
and
that,
you have again, this is not my favorite movie, E.T. I mean, we've already talked about that on the air, but
Fucking
I know,
communist.
but you have guys dressed in for the Halloween when they're out trick or treating.
Mhm.
They are dressed as Star Wars characters
Yeah.
in the movie. So
Yeah, and
there's
that's
there's
part of
well-known crossover.
Yeah, part of this theory, and like that was another thing is like when they go out for Halloween trick or treating, there's a kid dressed as Yoda walking towards them, and E.T. recognizes him, and he's like, "Home, home." So
yeah.
like he knows Yoda, and then he can move shit with his mind. He can make things
Yeah.
float, and he can
Yep.
fly. E.T.'s a fucking Jedi.
Interesting.
So
Yeah. So here,
see,
here's a little. I'm throwing it up on the internal monitors here. That at 5,
home.
E.T. meets a kid dressed as Yoda at Halloween and recognizes
Yep,
him.
recognizes him.
Okay.
So, like I said, like I found this little piece of music, mashup to be just another piece of compelling evidence that E.T. is in fact a Jedi. So I won't play the whole thing. If you guys want to see the whole thing, I basically all I did is I took Yoda's theme and I took the E.T. and I kind of put them together and I crossfaded them,
I have to hear this.
and I got a little picture here of Yoda floating the X-wing, and then when the ET stuff comes on, it switches to an ET picture.
I think we
But-
should put a link to this because it's on his
Yeah,
YouTube
yeah.
channel. We'll put a link
Yeah.
to this
Yeah.
in the show notes. Write that
so
down.
if you actually want to see the whole thing, it's on my YouTube channel, The Big Swedes Excellent Adventure.
Yeah, go subscribe.
Yep.
Do it.
Yeah, do it. But I won't play the whole thing. I'll play the middle section where the transition happens.
Sure. All right. Yeah, let's hear it.
And I'll try to put it up.
We
as
do not
close
own
to
the rights
mic.
to this
Yes.
music.
Yeah, copyright. Blah, blah, blah.
Copyright.
Blah,
Blah
blah,
blah blah
blah.
blah. All right, here we go.
Holy shit.
Just like seamless transition, like it was written that way. Like even when I put it together and I played it the first time, it was like the Goosebumps thing. I was like,
I just did.
holy shit, how well did that work?
If you don't get fucking goosebumps when you're listening to that, stop listening to us. Go flush your head down the fucking toilet and die.
Wow.
So yeah,
Jesus Christ, John Williams is the fucking best.
he
Holy
is.
shit, yeah.
God,
Phenomenal.
what are we gonna do without him in this franchise?
I have no idea.
That was another thing me and Dave had been talking about, like, how like certain music can like evoke a physical reaction in you, and we talked about the that Yoda music. He's lifting the X-wing, like the Goosebumps, and like that song right there. It's in the very end of the movie when they're saying goodbye to E.T. He's getting back on the ship. Last like 2.5, 3 minutes of that song is the same way for me. Like Goosebumps.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Now, I never saw E.T. in theaters when it was first out. It took until it came out on VHS like 2 or 3 years later.
And then he had a horrific experience with some guy that he was going to fucking get in a fight with.
Oh, I didn't have a horrific experience. That motherfucker was about to have a horrific experience. But I digress. So, moving on.
Apparently, all right, so just a message from the users. Nick has to stay on one side or the other. I guess people are getting a little fucking a little sick to their stomach as Nick gets divided in half.
See,
look, we can't control how the CGI is. Like the way the motion capture worked, it's only going to be we can't control that.
You got to talk to the special effects team.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we're still learning here, so bear with us.
Yeah, it's the mocap thing. It's expensive. Thank you, Patreon supporters. Yeah. But
nice. So, do we want to do our weeks now, or do we want to take a break?
Why don't we take a break now? Because I could use a clinky clink here.
Ice?
Yes.
All right, so let me...
Also, yes.
All right, so we are going to take a very quick break and be right back after this word from our sponsors.
Ugh. I said I wasn't going to react. Never mind. Pay the effects team better. Yeah, we will try.
Wow.
we will most certainly try.
I gotta piss. I'll be right back. Nick, we just pee outside. So
shit over here.
if
oh my God. No.
Geez.
No, oh my God. The alarm's going to go off in the middle of the fucking thing.
Vader's gonna talk to us.
Jesus Christ. Chewbacca's going to start howling.
Bop it.
All right, so Bronco Fett says that I need to Google nocturnal fears.
Nocturnal fears?
And like I said in the chat, if he wasn't a Mormon, I would probably be afraid, but since fears.
So I'm looking, and old Henry Thomas there has done other movies.
Who has?
Henry Thomas. Elliot.
Oh, Elliot, yeah. Whatever. Steven Spielberg, E.T. 2, Nocturnal Fears.
No.
The incredibly ill-advised E.T. sequel that almost was.
Thank God.
Fuck you. No fucking way. Dude, the experience I had in my childhood in the movie theater with E.T. is going to preclude me from watching any kind of fucking sequel because somewhere in a little fucking file cabinet in the back of my brain, that shit still fucking haunts me. I can tell you every single minute of what happened during that movie. I remember I had Reese's Pieces. I can remember going back and forth to the fucking bathroom. I listen to the soundtrack. I do religiously. Anything that John Williams puts out, I'll listen to. But I've listened to this ET soundtrack dozens of times.
It's
easily.
Great. It's fantastic.
It's fantastic. The story is great, and if fucking 8-year-old Dave didn't get the fuck scared out of him with fucking the white powdery ET that's getting ready to die, then I would probably be more into the movie. But they fucking ruined it. They fucking scarred me for life.
Great movie.
I'm not saying it was a bad movie. I will never say that it's a bad movie. But I will say that it terrified me, and I...
Thank you, dear. What? What's that look? What? No, what is it?
Hey, any look that you get, you deserve. Shit.
I didn't do anything.
That's what you think.
Kicked it already.
Oh, actually, I think I do know what I did. Whoops. Never mind.
So you
we
did
ready?
deserve it.
Probably.
I don't have to pee,
All right.
so that means I'm gonna have to pee later.
All right. I mean, really, the main topic is not going to take that long. We spent a good portion of the show with the pre-main topic because, quite frankly, I've done zero research.
Let me see. Where am I at on here? Okay. So I got to stay over here.
Yeah, you have to pick one side or the other. So
No, you
either
don't.
Stay to
No,
that
you
side.
don't.
Or
This
stay-
is a podcast. The people that are watching on YouTube are getting just the added effect of watching us on YouTube. And if it so happens that our guest has to be fucking split in half because our CGI team decided it's going to do
Oh,
that.
there we go. I'll sit right in the
Oh,
middle
fuck,
of the screen.
Fucking brilliant.
So I'm like split in half.
yeah.
There you go.
See how they like
Deal with it, Don. I can't find the ET soundtrack on iTunes.
That's a shame. That's
Oh, no way. That's got to
even,
be on there.
Even on Google Play, I had to actually search John Williams E.T. for it to come up. Like if I just search for E.T., I come up with all kinds of other people doing E.T. But I had to search for John Williams E.T.
yep. Split Swede.
Doing it,
That's.
doing it right here.
All right, we ready to resume?
Let's see. I'm finally. That's the best part of our special effects team.
They're doing a terrible job. All right. If you guys are ready, we'll do 30 seconds of silence and then roll right in.
Sure.
Back into it.
As soon as you start, I'm gonna have to pee. So.
30 seconds of silence starting now. And we're back. So, moving into our weeks really quick. Or before that, Dave has something to say?
Oh, just for the ET soundtrack, which we were talking about offline, probably. Go to, if you're going to look for it on iTunes, search for ET the Extraterrestrial, and it will take you right to the page that has the movie and also the soundtrack by John Williams.
That is the full title of the movie.
That is the full title of the movie.
All right, and you will do it.
You'll get extra points for that, and you will do it.
All right. Moving on to our weeks before we get to our main topic. For me, go Niners, baby. 49ers are in the NFC Championship. Very excited. I kind of had a feeling we were going to kind of beat the piss out of the Vikings. All things.
You mean Kirk Cousins isn't the second coming of fucking Christ?
No.
Like everyone wants to believe he is?
No.
You like that?
Yeah. He is not. Though I'm feeling confident about the Green Bay game. Obviously, any given Sunday, anybody can win. So if the 49ers roll in there all fucking cocky without any preparation, obviously there's a chance they can get bounced. So hopefully...
Listen, it's a fucking home game for San Fran. The defense woke the fuck up.
Well, they came back from injury. We had like 3 guys that were injured from like
Fair enough,
mid-season.
but
So
when it comes to that time, this is the time of season where, great, doesn't matter what your fucking regular season schedule was. Look at the other games. Look at Baltimore, who's sitting nicely on their fucking couches at home, watching the next.
Which, by the way, I called a week and a half ago. I told all my coworkers, anybody who would listen to me, Baltimore's getting bounced in their first game.
So out of
Guarantee
that, out of that fucking throne of nerds that you fucking sit amongst, how many people actually watch football?
Surprisingly, there's actually a few. There's a few of us. In fact, going into last weekend, we had a Packer fan, a 49er fan, a Eagles fan, and a fucking Minnesota fan. So
out of the entire squadron, there was 6 of you
probably
that were talking about football.
Yes.
Look, I'd fit right in there. Between the 3 of us right here, Jason was a ComNav guy.
Mm-hmm.
I was an guidance control guy.
I was actually gagged.
All right, you were guidance and control.
Yeah.
I was guidance and control. Nick was E&E. So we're all fucking electron
those
chasers.
guys.
We're all fucking pointy heads. So the nerd levels that we would be participating in would fit right in with the fucking Cyber Squad. And I can tell you that right now. Especially this guy who fucking, you should see his home network setup in his fucking house.
Yeah.
With the fucking PVC pipes and fucking crawling around in his fucking new house and shit like that.
Well, you've got like PVC around your Ethernet cables.
Go check out the Big Swede's Excellent Adventure. I have like home network videos.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice. I gotta
So
get on that.
the reason I have wireless access points in my house right now is because of this fucking guy.
Sweet.
So yes, the nerd is strong amongst us,
Yes.
but we can appreciate fucking football. So absolutely, I applaud those in your level of nerddom that are also participating in the foosballs.
Yep. And again, I'm riding high right now. Niners are in the NFC Championship.
As you should.
I'm not counting my chickens. Again, you never know what can happen, but I'm fairly confident. I'm happy as a fan, even if they happen to lose this weekend. I think
Bullshit.
it was a great season.
Bullshit. If you lose to fucking Green Bay, you're going to sit on this fucking podcast and you are going to lose your fucking mind. You're going to lose your mind.
I guess we'll have to wait and see.
You will absolutely, dude.
Or-
I will poke you until you fucking lose your mind. I guarantee it. I'll roll in here with an Aaron Rodgers jersey on, a cheese head, and I'm gonna fucking I will make it so that you will lose your shit. You better pray
Fucking savage.
that the fucking Niners pull this out.
I will up my Patreon to see that.
Wow.
It would be totally worth it. It would be totally fucking worth it.
Oh, I love it. All right. And besides that, though, I had to work all fucking weekend. This last weekend was our fucking guard weekend where you do your one weekend a month. And when you're a full-timer, it fucking sucks. So today is like day 10 without a day off, some shit like that.
It's the Dirty Dozen this time, right?
No, I'm off on Friday, thank God.
Oh, God.
But yeah, no, it fucking sucks, but it's kind of a fact of life at this point. It actually...
You're almost done.
Year and a half, man.
You're almost done, man. It's look, it's a rare occasion. It's like some sort of sighting. You got all of us between the three of us right now, we have 60 plus years of
military.
Air Force.
Yeah.
Of being in the Air Force in some form or fashion,
Yeah.
between active duty, everything, and we have happen to be from generally the same career fields.
Yeah.
As far as being specialists and everything else, and
We are special.
Yes, we are. Helmet wearing special for sure. But it just the end is so fucking glorious that once you get there and you can look back, and we were talking about it today again because they're talking about the fucking static closeout dates for the fucking staff sergeant EPRs and all this other fucking bullshit. And we're just sitting there going, we don't have to worry.
Well, I'm not there yet, so...
Yeah, exactly. But it's glorious when you get there.
Yeah.
And it's like, God damn, this is fucking great. You're going to look back on it and go like, you miss all the fucking... all the fun stuff, and you miss the fun interactions and the shit that happens, but you don't miss the extraneous CBTs, the fucking it's
Well, and it's the worst when you get to this point in your career because, like you said, the staff sergeant EPRs. Yeah, now I gotta walk to the fucking techs and the masters. Why aren't your staff sergeant EPRs done?
right,
And then
right.
they gotta go
because
talk to
my
their
name's on
guys
it. There, it's on a slide, and now this slide is some fucking jackwagons looking at this fucking slide and going like, "Why don't you have your shit done?"
Yeah.
And it's like,
So,
"Fuck you!"
No, I'm at the worst part in my career when it comes to that
yeah,
shit.
All
like-
those little things, like yesterday, one of the booms got the letter. You had to go.
Oh, the piss test.
Go for the golden flow test, and I was like, ha! Don't have to worry about that no more.
Mhm. Oh yeah, no.
Hey!
Yeah, I still have to do that. Like it seems like every fucking week.
I'm telling you, man, the finish line is right there in front of you, and when you get there, it's fucking glorious. It is absolutely glorious.
Yeah, but until then, I have to embrace the suck.
Yes.
Which
Yes,
is
you
working
do.
on the weekends, which is what I did this last
Everybody's
weekend.
working for the-
Exactly. Hence, didn't really do much else this week. So I pass it to you, Dave. What have you been up to? This
Listen,
week?
I started school this week, so hence we're taping on an odd day. Thankfully that we've got people in the chat, and hopefully there's appeasement happening.
Well, and
'cause we're not-
thankfully, we also had the Escape Pod guys to kind of hold over the
We did.
the listeners.
So Sunday we were going to record, like Jason, like the way the game's situated, like San Francisco had played at a time on Saturday.
Yeah.
So Sunday was going to make it available. I'm like, yes, let's do it Sunday. Awesome. And then several hours later, I realized, fuck, I got to drive my daughter back to state fucking college because she's going back to school. God. So Sunday was out. Monday and Tuesday, I have class. As I put a diatribe in the fucking cantina about, like, here's my school schedule for the next fucking however many weeks it is, 6 to 8 weeks or whatever. I'm almost fucking done school. I'm almost done. It again, the finish line is right fucking there. And I don't even give a shit what happens at the end. Like, it's honestly, at this point, it's about having it done and fucking behind me.
Yeah.
Because I've already, like, started it again and then stopped and then started it again and, like, fucking health shit and fucking this bullshit and that bullshit. I just gotta get this fucking shit done. And if I have to fucking pay, this is entirely conjecture if anybody ever actually looks at this. But if I have to pay some motherfucker to sit in front of the computer to take fucking Calc 2 for me, and I'll sit there with my face in front of the screen going, like this, like there'll be a fucking Weekend at Bernie's Dave is going to sit there and fucking magically my calculus happens.
Just get a fat head of yourself. Yeah.
Yes. Dave, what do you think? Nothing. I don't.
My computer froze.
I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. Oh shit, my mic's not working. Because that's what happened. I literally, like, this fucking. I'm way overtaxing this laptop, by the way, when I'm doing all that shit. And the camera's on, the fucking mic's not working because it's all dicked up, and I'm just like this when we're doing introductions. So, yeah, school started. Sundays is going to be when we're going to be taping this. Hopefully Jason's football team advances, and then there'll be some sort of Super Bowl party.
Right. Oh, yeah. And there's going to be at the Roscom household, and you're invited.
Excellent.
So...
Excellent. I think Kathy is looking forward to it.
Yep.
So once the Super Bowl and those types of things happens, obviously the schedule's still fluid as long as one of our football teams is still involved in it.
Yeah.
So, but we fully anticipate Sunday being the schedule, Sunday early evenings.
Yes.
I would imagine.
Yeah.
And that'll be the way forward because Monday and Tuesday, I'm not going to be available till April. And then I have one semester classes. And then after that, I'll be done. It's so close. It's almost done.
Yeah.
And this is how dumb I am, right? We're talking about the level of nerddom, right? I've never read, watched anything Ready Player One.
Oh, I saw it in theaters last year when I was down in Mississippi.
So, Vickers, who's one of the guys that one of the active duty guys, engineer evaluator. He's the one that got me really on Audible, like listening to the books. I know you had done it, and I didn't really buy into it. And Vickers was like, he gave me some other titles to listen to. I'm like, this is pretty fucking good. And so I started doing an Audible thing, right? So
for Ready Player One.
So I just recently started for Ready Player One because he gave me a couple titles and he said, hey, this is kind of like Ready Player One. I'm like, yeah, I've had that in my inbox. I just haven't listened to it. He's like, stop whatever you're listening to and fucking listen to that. Dude, what a great fucking book. Like, for our generation, what a great fucking book. Now, did you read the book?
No, I've only seen the movie.
So I've never seen the movie and I never read the book. So I'm listening to it and Will Wheaton is doing.
Will Wheaton.
Say Will. Say Wheaton. Say Will Wheaton. Will Wheaton. Will Wheaton's doing the narration. He does a great job.
Yeah.
He's doing really well. And it's a singular narrator, so like he's doing different voice inflection and shit like that. What a great fucking concept. When I saw Ready Player One, like that it was coming out, I thought, there's way too much fucking fan service going on here. I'm basically being jerked off by a fucking late 80s, early 90s fucking hand puppet.
Yeah.
But listening to it and like how it was written and the level of detail, I'm really, really enjoying it. I'm about 3/4 of the way through it right now, just from driving. And it's one of those things where I highly recommend it. It was for our generation, for guys that are in their 40s. You're in your 40s now, right?
Unfortunately, yeah.
So I don't know. It's some of these guys we work with are so fucking young.
Yeah.
We're talking about something today, and
trust me, you're preaching, man.
I made Master Sergeant in 2007, right? This motherfucker, this 03, this captain, sitting in our office, or my office, he just lives there. Basically, the desk that he should be sitting in. This guy was in fucking middle school. This fucking captain was in middle school when I made Master Sergeant.
Oh yeah.
Like fucking hell.
Well,
and I
when we were looking at the Penn State roster, and like some of them kids were like born in '98.
Yeah. I don't even want to talk about that. There's some Penn State shenanigans going on right now, and I can tell you right now, I don't even. It's not even worth talking about. It's a money grab. It's a shame. Anybody who's played any kind of competitive sport ever in their lives, either playing fucking football or anything, that the fucking locker room, if in the military, you get a bunch of dudes. We're all maintainers, right? At one point in our careers.
Mm-hmm.
Get on that launch truck. You better have thick skin.
You better have some fucking thick skin.
Oh yeah.
And if you don't have said thick skin, then your feelings are going to get hurt. And this kid's feelings got hurt, and there was an investigation because of an anonymous tip, and player got suspended. This is beginning of the season. Now suddenly this dude's coming around and says, hey, you know what? I'm going to make a fucking sensationalized headline, and I want that money. Because he fucking ended up transferring to a school that he's not going to get drafted out of. Because he's not that level of talent.
Yeah.
He didn't get the playing time. He got his balls busted fucking hard. And I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but we've all been there. We've all been there.
I was standing on the flight line doing an APU air sample, so
that's
need I say more?
Yard of flight line. Get some canine pee. That,
and even
that
like
shit happens.
Look, and there is a level that there should be a level of personal space that should not be invaded. And
sure,
you should never feel like you're being overtly threatened and shit like that. Cool, and I get all that, and if that's indeed what happened, an investigation was conducted. Those things happen, but dude, you got it. If you're listening to this fucking podcast right now, you better have a fucking thick skin.
Yeah.
Because I've said some pretty fucking outlandish shit on this fucking podcast. So it's one of those things where I would expect if the person in front of me can't handle that shit, I'm going to say it to their fucking face. If they can't handle it, then it's like, ugh, Christ, I didn't read that quite right. Right? But if I think that dude's going to go home and cry in his fucking closet, go ahead. Go ahead, cry in your fucking closet because you don't belong here. You don't belong here with the alphas. You need to go fucking keep sucking on your mama's teat and you go and have you go ahead and make yourself up a lawsuit so you can fucking make the money you're not going to make because you're a substandard football player. Anyway.
How did we get on that?
I don't know. Current events?
Rolled.
Sure.
Anyway.
So was that your week?
I guess. I don't even know.
Nick, you got anything? Anything you've been up to this week?
I think I talked about the stuff that I've been working on. Other than that, like, I got a guitar project in the works that we're hopefully going to be doing some stuff with. A buddy of mine from back in the day, back in high school. We both play guitar, both kind of been out of the game for a while and been talking about getting back into it, and just decided we're like, you know what? Let's try and write some music. So maybe some of that coming up on the B channel.
Sweet.
I always got something going on, but not too much.
Right.
Most of my drama and everything happened a couple weeks ago with the plumbing disaster in the house and all that bullshit.
Yeah, those of us who are friends with you on social media, we been
a quiet week, should we say?
Which is probably good in your case.
Knock on some fucking wood.
Yeah.
Goddamn.
All right, fair enough. So I guess we'll just move right into our main topic. I say we're probably going to spend like 10 minutes on this. But Dave has a copy of the Rise of Skywalker Visual Dictionary. There's been a lot of articles online talking about some of the revelations in this thing. Big things that I've read, and maybe you can kind of speak to this, are...
Probably not, but go ahead.
Two main things that have come out of this. One, being Lando. So we talked about at the end of Rise of Skywalker, Lando was basically talking to the, what's her name? Janna. He's like, I want to stick my 80-year-old cock into you, so let's do this.
That's one interpretation of it.
That is one interpretation. That seems to be the most obvious one.
It's the one for the sex points.
Yes. But apparently the book goes more into that. From what I read online, it talks about how Lando actually had a daughter that
Facts.
was taken by the First Order.
Facts.
So
And so in the book it says that she was taken 19 years prior. See, you know how we've always had BBY and ABY,
Yes.
before battle. Well, now in this book they've changed it now. Now it's
yeah, because the 0 hour is
after
different, right?
BSI now, before Star Killer Incident and after Star Killer Incident.
Okay,
So-
so
Right.
so basically, Force Awakens is our 0
Yeah,
hour
so
in the new timeline.
19 years before Star Killer, she was taken.
Okay.
So if you look at the timeline for Rise of Skywalker, we're talking 20-something years after
Yeah,
that.
like 21-ish years.
And then also in here, it says that Janna is early 20s.
Yes.
So
okay.
So timeline-wise, it matches up.
Right. Okay. So, and again, does
Excuse
it
me.
specifically say that Lando had a daughter that was taken by the First Order?
Yes.
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 Okay.
Lando,
So-
Lando had a daughter that was kidnapped.
Yes.
Okay.
And she was like 1. Like she was
Okay.
Bas-
So
basically,
it matches up perfectly.
basically an infant, yeah. And this is one of those things where when we get to the novelization and when that's released, then we'll plow through that, and I'm sure what allegedly we spoke to last week is that there is going to be some revelations in there about things like this and some other things. We were talking about it earlier today. It's to tell the story that was probably intended for this episode 9, it would have taken so many hours.
Like 3.5 hours.
The novelization gives you the opportunity to tell that story, and we did this. Isaac's on.
Hello, Isaac.
This is going to be the opportunity. Like I thought, this is one where we got into Last Jedi when we started the podcast, right? We were theorizing about what we thought was going to come next with the Last Jedi before, as we were building up to this Everest-sized fucking fall afterwards, because we built up all this extra shit. Again, see all of our managing expectations fucking episodes previous to this, but we read the novelization hoping that we'd get insight into what Phasma was, where this came from, where that came from. Then we had to wait for the fucking comics. We had to do all this other shit. So this is, and then Last Jedi, if I read it, I forget that I read it. I have the copy. It's in my shelf with the Sacred Jedi text.
Sacred text.
So, and which, I don't know, Nick, if you saw it, but hidden behind here
Yeah.
is...
Stacks and
Yes.
stacks of books.
Behind the comic books, there's stacks, like paperback versions. So
Hardcovers.
I don't think Nick talked about it, but since Nick started listening to the canon, the new canon,
Even just even the legend stuff I'm listening to.
and the Bane trilogy and stuff like that, since he started listening to that, he's been starting his own collection of the sacred texts.
Word?
Yes.
So
In
even though I'm-
hardcover.
Yeah, in hardcover. Even though I'm not actually reading them, I want to have them as part of my collection
Yes,
that
I
I've
like
read.
Because of this.
Yeah,
Yes. And I recommend all of you do that.
Yes.
And
Do it.
And you do it. And you will do it.
So, kind of a sidebar here, real quick. You talked about the Rise of Skywalker novelization. There's an audiobook associated with that, and it is narrated by Mark Thompson.
Hell
the
yeah.
same guy
Hell
who
yeah.
did the Thrawn books
Yes.
and the Aftermath books. So
Excellent.
it sounds like the production quality that they put into some of these other Star Wars audiobooks is going into the Rise of Skywalker
And I think,
novelization.
honestly, I pre-ordered the book, so I'm going to get the book when it comes in. But
Yeah.
I have Audible credits, so I'll probably burn up an Audible credit.
I'm in the
to do
same
that.
boat.
Credits will
Yeah.
be fun.
Credits
will
will.
do fine.
No, they won't.
I am apparently not a Tidarian. But
So-
anyway.
Yeah, so getting back to the encyclopedia. So the Lando revelation was a big thing that I've seen. The other thing that I saw was Palpatine and how he was resurrected. That was a big article I saw within the last couple of days. And I guess this kind of answers that. It talks about how all of these fucking Sith fanatics from Exegol, they went and actually retrieved his body from the fucking wreckage of the Death Star. And according to the visual dictionary, they brought him back to Exegol, did some sort of magic fuckery, and then brought him back to life.
Hooked them up to the machines.
Yeah.
Well, let me say this. So the visual dictionaries, to me, up until actually having one and having it in my possession, I never really gave it much credence. I I always thought it was a way to get $16 out of somebody, which I got this on Amazon for $10, right?
Which is pretty cheap considering it's a massive hardcover.
Yeah, it's
book.
a hardcover book, so I was surprised how cheap it was. But I just never really thought that this was going to give me any information that I wasn't going to be able to glean from something else. You know, I felt like it was kind of the I don't know, I want to cheat and fucking learn about Star Wars, and this thing is going to give me a conglomeration of information where I would rather go to the fucking source document. This is the Wikipedia of the fucking thing. It's this visual dictionary where I want to go.
Cliff's Notes.
Yeah, there you go.
I'd rather understand it from the source documentation. So that's me being a Star Wars elitist, I guess. But actually having this and looking through it, there's some really neat shit in here. The pictures, like some of it's kind of fucking hokey. I'm not gonna lie.
Sure.
Like, I don't give a fuck what Rey's bandages signify that she's fucking wearing with some fucking armband and this ring on Leia or other fuck. I don't give two flying fucks about that shit.
Right.
And who the fuck does? Some fucking casting director who's I don't know. I could say something really awful, but I'm not going to.
It sounded like you were going in that
I was
direction,
going
so
that direction,
I'm just
and
gonna let you do it.
I lost momentum. So assume I said something awful. But actually going into this, and you know, I've had it in my possession for a little bit, and I have not read it cover to cover, obviously, but I went through it enough to be able to say that there was enough interesting things in there, enough interesting little tidbits that I feel like there are things in here that are going to, it's canon, like there's enough information in these to actually make it relevant. Where if you are trying to figure out some things, and you go for it, then yeah, it's good for $10 fucking bucks on Amazon, $10-11 on Amazon. Totally fucking worth it. It's hardcover. The pictures are really nice in it. Although I will say that some of the action shots I was a little disappointed in, like TIE fighters flying. Like, I want high-res pictures of TIE fighters flying. They make it seem almost like there's a little bit of motion blur to make it seem more realistic. Fuck you. Fuck you. I have a camera in my car right now that'll fucking take a picture of something flying like that fast that won't have motion blur. Give me that in my fucking visual dictionary, please.
Now, but will it do a good video of a rocket hitting a commercial airliner taking off out of Iran? Is it that good?
It'll take better than we've seen so far.
Okay, gotcha.
Yes.
All right, fair enough.
And I won't get arrested for it. Credits will do fine.
Yeah, credits will do fine. Jesus Christ. All right, so I have not actually read through any of this. I'm really looking forward to, getting a copy of my own and starting to flip through it and read it. But I'm going to kind of rely on you two to kind of fill us in on what
I'm
else
going to rely
is in
on
this thing.
Nick
Well-
because Nick actually Nick picked out a lot of stuff today. Like, I hyper-focused on a couple of things when I looked at it.
Mm-hmm.
I hyper-focused on Vader's mask and, like, the incorporation of that, the galaxy depiction, because there is a spiral galaxy.
Oh,
that
yeah.
they
I
indicate.
did key in on that, but
They indicate that, and then they just show where the planets are and everything else. And we have yet to dedicate that episode, which I want to do.
Oh, me too.
I want to do.
Like,
Dedicate basically the astronomy.
Endor.
The astronomy of fucking the Star Wars galaxy. I would love to get into a long conversation about that.
right. Which, by the way, you stopped on the Moons of Endor page.
Yeah.
So, are we to assume now that the place where the Death Star wreckage crashed was not the same forest moon where the Ewoks live?
Correct.
Okay.
So here you can see. So this is the forest moon where the Death Star was, and that is Kef Burr where the wreckage landed.
Right.
Okay. All right.
So Kef Burr is where we see our heroes show up with the magic dagger that happens to be. She stands at just the right spot to be able to line that shit up.
And none of that stuff has deteriorerated since they made this
Never.
dagger.
We won't cue in on that. So yeah.
But like one of my favorites for reasons unknown, one of my favorite parts in this book is talking about the Sith troopers and how the Sith trooper units are organized into legions, and they are numbered, and they are also named after a prominent Sith Lord of the past.
Okay.
And the third legion is the Revan Legion. thus canonizing Darth Revan.
Yes.
Get the fuck out.
Yes.
Okay. Because I've seen, the clickbaity website articles that are talking about Star Wars made Revan canon, and I never read them because I think all of those fucking websites are bullshit. Now I understand where that's coming from.
So now we have Darth Bane canon via the Clone Wars, and we have Darth Revan canon via the Rise of Skywalker Visual Dictionary.
Fucking A.
So,
all right, I like it.
Good
So yeah, Revan is now canon, which
Yes.
is fucking beautiful. So may I see that real quick? So the thing that I keyed in on, there were two things. The timeline that we talked about.
Yeah.
How the 0 hour is now basically the time of Force Awakens, which it's whatever. It's if that's what you want your 0 point in the timeline to be.
Yeah,
so be it.
before the Starkiller incident, right? BSI?
Before Starkiller incident and after Starkiller incident.
Yeah.
Right.
BSI, ASI.
Which, sidebar right now. One of the things I was doing in my week was I
Sorry, what?
I posted something really inappropriate in the chat. I took a few minutes before school started, and I was like, I want to play some video games. So I don't know if I mentioned it last week, but I've been playing. I played Force Unleashed 2.
Okay.
Right. So Xbox 360, playing Force Unleashed 2, going through the fucking going through the thing.
Did you finish the first one?
I finished the first one.
Good.
So, and because we talked about it, we did it on the show, and playing the second one. Now I finished Fallen Order. Right?
Yep.
I played through that, beat it, whatever, got to the end credits, didn't 100% everything. To be quite honest, I haven't gone back to it since we talked about it on the show.
Neither have I. Yeah.
So, playing The Force Unleashed 2, holy fuck if that's not the one of the best Star Wars games I've ever played. The Force Unleashed, like, the playability, the story, the cinematics in it, the abilities, like using the Force and being able to battle, like that for an Xbox 360 game.
Oh, it's fantastic.
It was fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
The graphics are even phenomenal. I'm watching it on a 60-inch screen, and the graphics to me are cleaner than the fucking Fallen Order ones are.
Yeah.
I could not believe how much better that game is than Fallen Order.
Yeah.
Like, I gave, we gave our review for Fallen Order, and I gave it whatever I gave it.
Yeah, it's not a bad game.
It's not the worst game I've ever played. However, the fucking Force Unleashed games are so much fucking better.
Dude, I've been telling you this for years, man.
You have, and bad on me for not actually executing and playing the fucking games, but now I've been playing them. I can't get over how much fucking better they are.
Yeah.
Even the graphics, the clarity and the cleanness of the fucking cutscenes, the using the Force abilities, using Vader, because Chad Vader's doing the voice.
Yeah.
Like those instances, because I'm just about done. I think probably if I put another 15-20 minutes into the game, I'll be done for Force Unleashed 2.
Yeah.
God damn it, why didn't they fucking just pick that up? Why not pick up that fucking ball and run with it?
Oh, you'll say that even more after you finish Force Unleashed.
Probably.
When you get to the ending, you're going to be like, what
Probably.
the fuck?
But the playability of the game,
Like-
the fucking graphics, the cutscenes, everything else, marks above the fucking Fallen Order, and it's on the Xbox 360 fucking platform.
Mm-hmm.
It's not even updated to the best possible graphics resolution, and there wasn't once that I was watching it where I went, oh, it kind of got fuzzy between these two things, or wow, that character just looked a little bit under, like, maybe this graphics engine is just not good enough to fucking pick up on it. No. The Force Unleashed 2, yeah, well, she really is bug-eyed.
She really looks
She's
like
really
that.
bug-eyed.
Yeah,
I
she
mean,
looks like that.
whatever. What are you going to do? Right? It could look exactly like her, which it pretty much does. But, it's some Akbar descendant. I don't know. What the fuck?
Oh my god, a Mon Calamari probably fucked a human and made
Yeah,
her.
that's what happens. That's why you should not cross-pollinate. But I still... Before, when I still had a couple minutes of free time and I was sitting there playing that, I'm like, I can't believe how much better a LucasArts produced game was than what EA is putting out right now.
Yeah.
I was willing to give EA a little bit of slack and say, okay, they're playing within the confines, they're trying to develop a story and trying to make playability. All of it was already in front of them. and it was owned by LucasArts. There's no fucking reason that they couldn't be like, okay, let's take these same fucking story developers and fucking run with it.
Yeah.
And take these same graphics engines and just make them better.
Mm-hmm.
We're playing, like Nick mentioned about Modern Warfare. I still contend that that's one of the best games that I've played in the past 5 years. The only game that I think might have been better from a graphics standpoint was Battlefront, but playability, this new Modern Warfare game has it.
Great.
It has it. It is a very, very playable game, and it's perfect for my fucking ADHD. But playing The Force Unleashed 2, it is such a superior game, and I wanted to make sure I talked about it on the show because going back after playing Fallen Order and going back and playing Force Unleashed, and I know it's one of Jason's all-time favorites.
Yeah,
as far as Star Wars games goes,
especially the first Force Unleashed. The second one was okay. It was
I
think the first one was better, but
and that's fair. I haven't finished the second one, but so far, to me, it's enough of a continuation of the series that I'm not saying, well, Dev 1 was definitely better. I'm invested in that particular part of the franchise, and it's a shame they didn't continue with it because they had something.
Mm-hmm.
They had something. You were willing to let it go to make them a fucking money grab with EA and get into the EA marketing, and it's inferior in every way. In every way, up to and including the fucking graphics.
I think Fallen Order is it's a better story than it is a game. Like, I mean, the game is it's okay. You know, lightsaber battle and blah 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 blah. The story itself, I thought was kind of cool. There was some kind of lulls in it, but
Well, this motherfucker over here sat for there was
just watch the cutscenes.
The cutscenes for 3 fucking hours.
Why'd you gotta tag me? I mean, what the fuck, man?
But it's not necessarily a knock against you. It's just the fact that okay, great, these cutscenes exist and it tells a story and that's awesome. But spoiler alert, the story doesn't really amount to anything.
Yeah,
the
and the
characters
gameplay just wasn't there.
Yeah, I liked the puzzle play. I liked that aspect of it. It was because that's a little bit more than there is in Force Unleashed. But fuck me, the ability to use the goddamn Force in the Force Unleashed is so superior to this Fallen Order.
Oh yeah,
it's not even. I won't play it again. I can almost guarantee you, unless something comes out and there's a push and some sort of update,
like DLC or something.
Yeah, I won't play Fallen Order again. There's no reason for me to.
And I even said when I finished it, because like you have the ability once you finish the game to go back and unlock more secrets that you didn't unlock the first time. And I was like,
Force Unleashed.
No, even in Fallen Order, because like there's certain areas and worlds that you can't get to because you don't have the certain abilities yet. Mm-hmm. And I was like, well, I'm gonna go back and do that, and haven't done it.
Yeah.
I just
now, did you play the Force Unleashed?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what did you think of those?
I mean, the games are great. I mean, like Dave was saying, it's even though it's a much older game, it's a better game.
Yeah. No, I agree. So pivoting real quick back to
sorry.
the Visual Dictionary.
That was related to my week.
Yeah. So the big thing that I'm focusing on is this galactic map. If you can see it on the YouTube, if you're not subscribed to us on YouTube and you just listen to the audio channel, please go to YouTube and subscribe. I don't give a shit if you actually watch the videos. Just subscribe. Get our numbers up.
Like our videos. We're only at I think we're at 336 fucking viewers. We haven't had an increase in quite a while.
Yeah.
I think
we had a big push to 300 and got over that, and then we haven't really been pushing since then.
This guy over here, he's got thousands. Thousands.
He?
Yes.
Oh shit.
His main channel, he's got like fucking 2,500 subscribers.
Something like that.
So
apparently guns are a good thing. We need to start shooting each other for the fucking.
Oh, there you go. We need to modify real world handguns, make them look like Star Wars handguns.
Pew pew.
So we get both the real gun audience and the Star Wars audience.
And we'll make DL-44s. Yeah, we'll take Rugers. We'll fucking put sights on them. We'll do that whole fucking thing.
Then in the spring, we'll come out here into my backyard. We'll fucking kill all the groundhogs with them.
Yes.
And like everybody will love it.
I'm all about that. Yeah.
Except for my neighbors.
But you live in New Jersey.
That's a problem.
It's problematic. However, I think we can get around that.
All right, fair enough.
Come to my house in Pennsylvania and shoot guns.
We'll just threaten your neighbors. Fuck it.
Yeah. We'll see how that works.
Yeah, we'll do that. It's fine. It's fine.
I'm sure it'll all
whatever.
Work
This
out.
is all for entertainment.
Yeah. So I'm looking at this galactic map. Like Dave mentioned earlier in the show, like this is the thing that I want to key on next. I want to talk about the galactic geography of the Star Wars universe. I want to dig in deep. Like, let's just say, for instance, the Star Wars galaxy, the known galaxy in the Star Wars universe, is even a quarter of the size of the fucking Milky Way galaxy, that still means that there are billions of fucking stars in this galaxy. And there's so much you can dig into with this. So I really, really love the fact that they included this galactic map in the visual dictionary, and that's the thing that I want to focus on almost more than anything else.
Yeah, we've talked about it a lot. I'd love to do a deep dive into the galaxy itself, because we're there's a level of nerddom. Like, Nick is also a photographer, right? So we share that fucking hobby. Also, Jason's not quite into the picture stuff, but he's into.
I suck. Like you have, there was a point where you had 2 generations earlier of an iPhone than I had, but you took phenomenal pictures, and I'm like, why do all my pictures look like shit and yours look fucking great? I don't understand. I've got a better iPhone than you.
There's definitely you develop an eye for certain things, and I thank my parents for actually blessing me with that ability, because they both were into photography and stuff like that. So I kind of grew up into it.
Sure.
But taking pictures of stars and going in there and getting good shots of star fields and getting rotation, there's really cool stuff. It makes, especially lately for some fucking reason. We just recently had an astronomical event where the fucking planets were actually lined up, where you could go from Jupiter to Saturn to Venus to fucking Mars and Mercury. They were all lined up. If you had either a really good camera, a really good telescope, you could fucking see that they're all lined up in a particular orbit. And it's those types of anomalies, and if you don't walk outside on a clear day and look up at the sky and just be amazed at what the potential is to be out there, the potential for something like this to exist, what would it take? What would it take for the Star Wars galaxy to exist out there? So many hundreds of thousands and millions of light years away from us.
Yeah.
That
well, if you think about the size of the known universe, it's not that preposterous.
Yeah, the probability, if you straight look at the numbers, the probability is more in the favor that there is something that exists like us. There might be 3 idiots sitting in front of fucking microphones that fucking have third eyes and antennas growing out of their fucking heads, but they're talking about some fucking stupid human movie that could be whatever. Yeah. That shit could exist, and I've been fascinated lately about shit like that, especially.
That quote from, what the fuck movie was it? Contact, I think, where they're talking about life on other planets, and they're like, well, if there isn't, it's an awful waste of space.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. Look, and by the way, speaking of that movie, Contact, I think it's an underrated movie.
I enjoyed that movie.
That
really
fucking book is phenomenal.
I never read
that book is phenomenal. If you are into shit like that, read the book Contact. The movie is good. Jodie Foster has a good performance. Of course, you got fucking.
All right.
You have that in there, but it's a good book. Fuck, I can't think who wrote it. God damn it, it's a famous guy too. Fuck. Hang on, I'll look that up. But anyway, Tevin is the guy who works in my shop. Tevin from the Bahamas is asking about the info on the Knights of Ren. So Jason's going to look up the Knights of Ren. There is a basically a 2-page layout of the Knights of Ren. Has their names, has their weapons. Oh God, I still am so disappointed in the Knights of Ren.
Oh yeah, but you know what?
Oh my God.
We called it leading into Rise of Skywalker, because we've seen this happen twice before with Force Awakens and Last Jedi. They kind of tease us with these characters like, oh, those characters look really cool. They got to be great. And they're just these fucking throwaway, just nothing in the actual movies. Be it Phasma or whatever. It's oh, this
fuck you. You had to bring up fucking Phasma, didn't you?
Yeah.
I hope you rub those.
Phasma.
Yeah, you know what? Never mind.
Local folklore has warned for centuries of marauders known as the Knights of Ren. So again, they're not even being associated with Force users. They're marauders.
So let me just give you so you're not reading directly out of the book. And Bermuda, I'm sorry, not Bahamas. I apologize. I've been drinking, and it's more fun when I'm wrong. I mean, honestly, Jason will tell you.
Indeed.
So see you, Don. By the way, out of the chat, Don Solsky, Escape Pod. What was I talking about? Oh, Knights of Ren. So it basically it gives an overview. What the dictionary says is that the Knights of Ren would have made good inquisitors. Like they would have been candidates to be inquisitors had they been able to be tamed. Yeah. So they had the ability to use the Force, but it was very raw.
Some kind of Force ability.
Yeah, they had Force ability, and this was Snoke actually had given, basically given the Knights of Ren to Kylo Ren.
Right.
So I'm sure this is in comics and something that we haven't necessarily gone over. I know
they touch on this a little bit in the comics.
So if Snoke is saying, "Hey, I've got this band of dudes that are fucking nut jobs that they kind of use the Force, they're gonna be your one-man army.
Yeah,
they're gonna be your followers. They're gonna worship the ground you walk on. They're gonna be your fucking roadies, and these dudes are gonna you're gonna be the king of those. You're gonna put a fucking helmet on. It's gonna look kind of like what they look like.
Yeah.
And you're gonna lead this band of misfits and do whatever.
Now, I mean, honestly, I'm sure we all thought that after The Last Jedi, when he's talking to Rey, he tells her about how Kylo Ren or Ben burned down his fucking temple and disappeared with, a handful of his students.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think we all just assumed that those students ended up being the Knights of Ren, right?
Agreed. Yeah.
And it seems like the way you describe it and the way this is describing it, that's not the case.
Agreed. That band of it's like think of it like pirates.
Right.
So it's like the Blackbeard's pirates, and they were fucking off doing shit, and now suddenly Snoke was like, okay, here's these dudes. You're going to. It states in the dictionary that Ren had to earn his way to be basically the leader of the Knights of Ren. So he had to go and prove himself to this band of whatevers.
Yeah.
Misfit toys, I keep wanting to think. And he had to prove himself that, hey, I'm a badass. I'm going to be the guy who leads you into some really cool fucking panoramic scene where we go and we're flying around, standing around and looking at stuff. And then we're going to go to another scene and stand around and look at stuff.
Now, Dave, you might not get this, but Nick, you might. Does it seem to you like it's whoever designed characters in Final Fantasy kind of designed a lot of these where they've got the big swords and the fucking big ass axes,
look, this motherfucker over here, his name is it's Knight of Ren Heavy Blade.
Yeah.
Heavy Blade.
And here his name is Trudgeon?
Trudgeon.
Dude, I'd rather take fucking Heavy Blade because the motherfucker's got the end of a goddamn hockey stick in his hand.
Yeah.
It's the end of a fucking Milek goalie stick in his fucking hand.
Yeah.
Can we be more lazy about fucking creating something and just fucking leaving it off to the side?
Here's another thing we were going to talk about. You had brought up probably a couple episodes whether or not the lady was supposed to be Sloane.
Right.
It's not Sloane.
Yeah, sad face.
Yeah.
So they wouldn't even give us that tie-in, which come on, JJ.
All of these First Order commanders, they're nobody that we've ever heard of before.
Yep. Yeah, nobody, and it's like, come on. We know Rey Sloane was a big part of the First Order.
Yep.
Fucking just, you have a black woman in the fucking movie. Make her Rey Sloane. Why does she have to be General Parnadi?
Yeah.
Come on. What the fuck, man?
Just make that shit up.
I had a baby, it's a boy.
Bone. Jesus Christ.
So what's funny about that, the Rey Sloane, we were talking about Snap Wexley and his
bitch. What a
rip.
bitch.
Yeah, he died like a fucking bitch. And
oh, wow.
We're wondering,
where
we got
Nora?
Wedge. Where's fucking Nora?
Nora's
Where's
up.
Nora?
Yeah.
And who was the other? We basically assumed that Nora and some other fucking dude ran off. I forget. We were talking. That was the question we were asking.
Somebody else from the canon.
One of the other fucking people that was.
Ransom Casterfo.
Oh yeah.
Like in Resistance Reborn, they made this big deal about him like coming back to be one of the leaders of the Resistance, and then didn't even see him in the movie.
Nope, that's right. Yeah, because
him and Nora ran off somewhere.
Probably, yeah, because he was a big part of
They're
Bloodline.
off going.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a big part of Bloodline.
Yeah.
He was mentioned, obviously, in the Resistance Reborn.
Well,
they went and rescued him. And...
Yeah, Nick would just finish Bloodline this morning.
Oh, no
by
shit.
the way. So hence it's fresh in his mind.
Oh, nice. I like it.
Where's Casterfo?
Yeah, and so he's probably boning Nora Wexley somewhere in the unknown region.
They went back to the fucking farm, got his fucking fluorescent green fucking cookware and shit, scooped that up off the ground, and started a new life with each other, probably with some fucking S&M bullshit.
Yeah, borrowed some of her lesbian sister's sex toys.
That's right.
And,
Yeah. Start running a train on her with everyone else in fucking
Meanwhile,
town.
Wedge is off fighting the Resistance.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
He's in the fucking in one of the cannons in the Millennium Falcon with old ass Lando.
Yeah.
Speaking of Wedge, like, you know, there's another one of the true badasses of Star Wars who survived the entirety of the saga, you know?
Yeah, and you kind of wonder too, like that scene where his engine got shot in New Hope.
He was kind of a bitch in A New Hope. I
He
can't
bitched
do
out a little
anything. I'm gonna go back home. Thanks.
But there's something to be said about that though. You know, it's like fuck, my fucking ship's damaged. I gotta get the hell out of here.
They're not.
And
It's not. When you look at it in A New Hope and take our obvious allegiance to the dark side and the Empire out of it, but let's look at it. We're all been in the military. Like when some fucking bullshit happens and they're like, fuck, I'm down an engine, dudes. I can't finish this mission. I'm gonna go back,
RTB.
get fixed. Yeah.
Tapping.
Yeah. You go back and you fucking get refit and you come back out into the fight. That's if you're in the rebellion and you only have so many ships and it's like, fuck, I'm not gonna go just fly myself into the middle of this fucking thing.
Yeah, it's
I'm
realistic.
gonna pull back and save this X-Wing so that we can fucking fight again. That's realistic military doctrine.
Yeah.
That's this weapon system has failed. I'm gonna go back, get it fixed, and come fucking back. There's already a package en route. That's why you send. You know what? Never mind. I'm not gonna say that out loud.
Yeah, but that's
you send multiple aircraft to a fucking
OPSEC.
Yeah, you send multiple aircraft to a fucking. I'm retired. You send multiple.
I'm not. So let's just.
You send multiple aircraft to do a thing, and then because one might fail, so you make sure.
Layers.
Yes. Everything. It's fucking read Art of War for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
God damn it.
So I mean, unless you guys had anything else, I think that's a great stopping point.
How do you
for
just
this.
fucking Jason pulls the e-brake on the whole fucking thing, having a nice conversation about military doctrine, and then you're gonna fucking because you haven't read the book.
I think I fully admitted that when we first started. Like,
and honestly, so did I.
Normally, I am the most prepared one for this podcast.
I would say
by
that
far,
yes, you are.
But I mean, I think you have to give me some fucking slack. I worked all weekend.
Listen, I am as prepared as I usually am. Nick is the one that was prepared today.
He's the savior.
He
of this
brought
episode.
gifts. He showed up. I mean, it's, like I think the only reason we've had an hour and a half of
it's okay that I'm here.
It is okay.
You're relieved that I'm here.
Oh, thank God you're
you're
here.
I really do want to see this movie one more time.
Oh, me too. God
I
damn
want
it.
to see it one more time in a theater, just because I know I'm not going to be able to see it again for a few months.
Yeah.
I want to see it one more time. I really want to see it in an IMAX. We got to make that happen.
Is it playing in an IMAX?
I have no fucking idea.
Well, get on it.
You get on it.
See, this is the way this always goes. It's
You're a hard candy shell.
All right, so are we finished? Are we going into our wind down?
yeah. Let's wind it down.
All right, so Jason has in the notes next chipping away at Clone Wars.
Yes.
I don't know what the fuck he means by that because
There is-
nobody is watching Clone Wars right now. Nobody.
Hey,
You don't think so?
hey,
You don't think anybody's getting ready for season 7?
No.
You need to watch Clone Wars, man. I think I speak for a lot of people out there in the all things Star Wars family when I say you gotta watch Clone Wars, man.
Listen, I solicited to our audience, give me a list of episodes
which we got.
This guy right here.
But he never passed that to me.
This guy right
Right,
here. He's
but
got a
we're
whole
going-
website that lists what you
Yes.
gotta watch.
Yeah, look at this.
Okay, well, send that list to me so that this guy who has the fucking DVDs in his possession, I can fucking sit at work and watch it.
I almost think I need
Because-
to send it to you, and then you put the DVDs over. You just
Yeah.
say, Dave, sit down,
Dave,
watch
sit
this.
down. Press play.
Fair enough.
But yeah, I think starting next week, we need to start chipping away at Clone Wars because we're a month removed
Season 7.
from season 7.
More Ahsoka.
Yes, which apparently Nick, he didn't really touch on it
No.
when we were talking to him, but talking to him before we started recording, he's a big Ahsoka fan.
I am.
So,
I love me some Ahsoka.
now what is it about Ahsoka that you love?
I don't know. I just like the character in general. I mean, she's a great character. She's like really like snarky and she's got that attitude to her that I like characters like Deadpool and something like that. Just that snarky kind of humor to her. I really like it. I really want to see her in a live action movie in some way, shape, or form. I know David posted the whole Rosario Dawson thing and.
Okay, so would you rather see Ashley Eckstein play Ahsoka in a live action?
I think that, to me, that is the way you have to go. Because Ashley Eckstein is Ahsoka Tano. Like,
Yeah.
there's
So my problem with Ashley Eckstein is I don't know, like we know that that's her voice, but I don't know that she could actually portray the character in the same way that we would expect it. I think that Rosario Dawson is a better portrayal of the character and put Ashley's voice on top of her.
I wouldn't be opposed to Rosario
scissoring like
Dawson.
this.
Now, this talk about
Naked.
Brie Larson being Ahsoka Tano.
Fuck that-
No.
fuck that noise.
No.
Fuck that noise.
Stop it.
This Captain Marvel,
Just fucking stop.
yeah,
Yeah, that's
Brie
what I think about
Larson, unless she's going to be naked scissoring, even then, I don't know that I'd want to. I think that for Ahsoka to be
Well, I mean,
to be legitimate, if you're going to present in a way that it's going to be in a live action, it should be somebody that can physically portray the character, be able to do the stunts and everything else. Can Ashley Eckstein do
I don't know.
sword fights and
I
shit
don't
like that? She's a voice actor.
Can Rosario Dawson
Yes, yes, she can.
Is she trained?
Did
in
you
martial
see
arts
her
and
in
sword
Clerks
fighting?
2? I mean, come on.
I mean,
She
I
can-
did.
she can dance.
There's no
Yeah,
aspect
yeah,
of
that's
this at
pretty much
all. Look, she's
and-
got huge tracts of land. She's
does.
extremely attractive.
Oh yeah.
And yes,
Very
Yeah,
talented.
like,
yes,
she's
she's
in my-
very a talented actress.
She's in
Also.
my top 10 of like most bonable Hollywood actresses. Don't
Right.
get me wrong. So,
Yeah, so that
but is
that
she
in-
right for that part? though?
Yes, is the answer to that
I
question.
think she would do a fine job.
She would.
I just,
She is a nerd.
I'm
She is
yes,
a nerd.
Truth.
She is a nerd, and she will give it the treatment that it deserves. Even if she knows she's not going to be the voice, if they're going to do Ashley Eckstein's voice over top of hers, she's going to give a performance that's going to be convincing. She's got the big doe eyes and the fucking giant
I
tits,
will-
and just like that's what we're nerds.
Yeah, I will.
That's
I will,
what we want to see.
I will put
Right?
my foot through the screen if Brie Larson plays fucking Ahsoka Tano.
We'd
That
have
would
to
be
watch
the
it because of the podcast, but I can guarantee you, like, I'm not a Marvel guy.
Oh.
I haven't. Only time I've seen Brie Larson do anything
I'll
on
fucking
screen
riot.
is on the trailers for fucking the Marvel
I mean,
bullshit.
and I've seen all the Marvel movies, and
And again, it's
whatever.
not about woman empowerment. It's not about that. It's about getting the right person in the right fucking the
Right.
right role. I'm not saying do some Monty Python shit where you fucking I don't like this whatsoever. Like, it's not about
Oh my
that.
God. How great would it be to get like Terry Gilliam or one of
Hello!
those guys to play Ahsoka? Oh god.
Hi, Anakin. I don't know what you're doing here. Like,
Oh,
and
Jesus
it's.
Christ.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about you still have Rosario Dawson is a legitimate fucking
Woman.
female actress, female human actress that I think would do a good job portraying the role of Ahsoka. I get the voice part. I really do, because we've only seen this character as an animation, and we know that we have associated that voice with it. We heard it in Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah.
Like, every one of us heard her voice
Yes.
plain as day in Rise of Skywalker. So that is as important as anything. But I think from a, are you doing that on purpose? I mean, why are you doing that?
I would have a very big hang up for me if she was not at least the voice.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, Star Wars has a long history of replacing people's voices in movies. So
Hence,
there's no reason they couldn't do that.
Yep.
Would Darth Vader be
Oh my
Darth
God.
Vader without
ever
James
heard-
Earl Jones?
Have you ever heard that clip of what's
yes.
his name?
Yes, he has.
Yeah,
he has.
David Prowse
Prowse.
doing the Darth Vader lines.
Oh yeah.
Holy
yeah.
shit.
Yeah, that's bad.
Some Scottish guy who's fucking running a Quickie Mart in fucking Prestwick.
You are
doing
part of the Rebel Alliance and a traitor.
Yeah.
Take her away.
just the worst ever. So totally overlay Ashley Eckstein's voice, put Rosario Dawson there, somebody with a nice trim, just mwah, and just do that, and all the nerds will be happy. Like, it's about nerd appeasement at this point. Like, all these fucking social justice warriors that want to be up in arms and something, I'm sure they're, you know, the Mandalorian.
Don't complain about anything.
It doesn't matter what you put out. They're fucking, that's when you make it rain fucking quarters on them and they complain about their fucking getting pelted in the forehead.
But I mean, like, on that topic, yes, there are, and like Scott said in the chat, like, there are some clunkers. There's some real clunkers throughout the Clone Wars.
Nick put
Like,
them on in the office, and I went, "This is fucking bullshit."
Here's your clue. If you're watching the Clone Wars, if an episode starts out and it's the episode is about droids, skip it. If the episode is about clone troopers, skip it.
If it's about Padme, skip it.
Yeah. Oh my God! If it's about Padme going off on some adventure with her ex-boyfriend that's now some skip that shit. Nobody cares.
Yeah. Yes,
I have to get this amendment ready for the Senate.
But if it's about Maul, if it's about the Mandalorians, if it's about like Anakin and Obi-Wan doing some shit and Ahsoka, like all about it.
Yeah.
Do it.
So
do it.
Are we going to canonize this right now? 12 Essential, like on the board here, our producer has put up. Our make-believe producer has put up 12 essential.
This was the best one that I could find.
Get the fuck out of here! The Clone Wars film.
No.
We've already fucking.
No.
Holy shit! No. Have we not torpedoed that fucking thing?
Here's the only thing the Clone Wars movie brings to the table. It introduces Ahsoka Tano. That's the only thing it does.
We've already, I'm pretty sure that we reviewed.
We did a single episode about the Clone Wars movie.
Yes. And I'm pretty sure we made giant piles of shit right here in the studio.
Even that it says 12 episodes to watch. I think there's more than 12 episodes.
That's bullshit.
Now maybe 12 storylines.
And that's what it is. It's
because some of those storylines span over multiple episodes.
Yeah, we did Zillow Beast
like
already.
The Maul stuff, it happens over several episodes.
We did Zillow Beast.
I think we did this one too.
Sure.
And then I think ARC Troopers is where we would need to start.
Even the ARC Troopers one,
Death Sisters.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
the Night Sister trilogy.
So that's. I think this is about where we're gonna start. This ARC Trooper storyline and the Night Sister storyline.
I think we did the ARC Trooper storyline. Did we not, or did I do that in the office?
Depends on what season it is, because
season 3.
Yeah, I've only done up to season 2. We got one disc into season 3.
We started watching 3.
Yeah, we were watching 3, and 90% of what came on the television was basic. I would rather go in and fucking rake my eyeballs with a fucking box of sand.
So we'll probably start with the ARC Troopers and the Night Sisters trilogy.
Sure.
To start for next week, maybe even
the Mortis trilogy is
the dagger in Rise of Skywalker should have been the Mortis dagger. That's all I'm gonna say about that.
I have no idea what you're talking about, but cool.
So watch that, and you'll understand.
All right.
So we're gonna use the Nerdist 12 essential Clone Wars episodes that we're supposed to watch.
Yes.
I like that Rick and Morty's up there. I'm behind on Rick and Morty. we need to fucking get that shit going. What a great fucking show! Holy shit, Rick and Morty. That could be a whole nother fucking.
I'm in.
Son of a bitch. I'm in.
It is on Hulu, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
That's what we have. We have the Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN Plus.
You will watch Rick and Morty.
I will watch Rick and Morty. Thank God you're here.
Thank God.
All right.
So glad you're here.
So anyway, social media?
Of
we haven't done that in a while,
next
right?
social media.
All right.
What?
So Nick, What do you got for us? Where do you want people to follow you?
Oh my god,
Give us everything.
All right, so my two alter egos, if you will, on social media, you got the Tactical Swede and you got Big Swede. So by the same name you have on the YouTube side, Tactical Swede. Search up Tactical Swede on YouTube, or Big Swede's Excellent Adventure, again on the YouTube side. Then you go to the Instagram side, and the same exact thing. Search Tactical Swede on Instagram, or Big Swede's Excellent Adventure on Instagram, and you'll get all my stuff
one
there.
Word, Big Swede's Excellent Adventure. I know
listen,
I follow you on there, but I don't know what the hell.
So this motherfucker,
Either
right? he's got a Google phone, right?
Yes,
So he's
facts.
fully Google enabled.
Mm-hmm.
He tried to put in your fucking address, and it would not.
Well,
It would not
okay.
find your fucking house.
Here's what it was.
My Google app, hang on. My Google app on my iPhone, no problem.
Uh-huh.
Put in your address. The same thing I gave to him. Bing, put up. It's the same Google. Apparently on the Google phone, it's too fucking smart to identify a fucking address.
Okay, so here's what it was. So I typed in the address, the town, and a result popped up, and I clicked on that. Well, apparently, across the highway, there's a different zip code that has the same street
Yes,
address and
yes.
is the same city.
We have had issues with that. When
It
comes
it doesn't change the fact that I opened Google Maps and put in your address, and it bing,
Well,
it popped
I'm
right up.
sure it popped up. I just clicked on the one with the wrong zip code.
iPhones are superior.
What the
They
fuck
are.
Every
ever?
way.
Yes.
What
In
the-
every way.
I went Android once, and I'll never go back.
Yes. And
Yeah.
this is a guy who's in the cyber industry.
All Apple does is take Android's ideas and present them as their own. Yes. Facts.
Better.
Facts. No.
And they present them better.
Facts.
Yeah.
Better.
Apple
I-
is streamlined. Android is just too fucking...
Yeah.
Apple's like, hey, look at what this new phone has. And we're like,
Look,
yeah, we've
I'm
had
not
that
gonna-
for 3 years.
I'm not going to debate the fact that Apple is a little bit behind as far as releasing technologies, but when they do release technology, it's actually effective,
Yes.
as opposed to the fucking shit show of 5, 6, 7 fucking versions that you finally get to make your Google like, hey Google, I use Google for everything, including fucking turning on my ceiling fans. Which was a shit show getting set up. Is that an episode of the Big Swedes podcast?
See, but that's not an Android issue. That's a
Google
fucking-
issue.
No, it's a fucking whatever the device is that I bought that's supposed to control.
Listen,
That's what that is.
this guy has an iPhone with
Can you
Alexa.
control your ceiling fans with Alexa?
I don't have
Who
my
needs to do that?
my ceiling fans.
Control their
First of
ceiling
all,
fans.
Yeah, everyone needs to do it. It's just a matter of my ceiling fans are old in the house, predating me being able to tell Alexa to do it. And I can tell you right now that Alexa interacting with my iPhone works perfectly fine. I can turn off my fucking house lights right now.
I'm working on everything in my house for me to be able to say, hey, I'm not going to say it because my phone will turn on. Turn on this.
Hey Google, suck a bag of dicks.
Shut up. It doesn't recognize your voice, so it won't turn on.
Ah. We've had fun with that. What did we say like, hey,
I'm
Joking around.
serious.
Maybe? No.
No, it wasn't gonna
No, we were talking about it at work one day, and I said, I didn't even say the whole phrase, but then I was like, turn on the fucking ceiling fan, and it was like, I don't understand what you mean. Like,
yeah, I don't understand fucking ceiling fan. It's just like 3 minutes of just nonstop belly laughing.
Yeah.
Fucking great.
Tell Scott that I did the thing that he asked for.
Sharing the webpage in the cantina?
Yeah, I did.
All right.
Did the thing.
Did
Yeah,
the thing.
The thing with the thing. So, all right. Anything else?
No.
Nada. Again. Thanks for
Apparently,
having
I
me
was
on.
Yeah,
I was
been
informed
fun.
that I have to be doing a thing tomorrow, so I should go home.
No one cares. All right. Well, thank
Yeah.
you, Nick,
Yeah.
for coming on. This was a
was
lot
a
of
blast.
fun. And again, go follow both of his YouTube personas on YouTube. Give him more subscribers. And if you're a subscriber of Tactical Swede and
Yeah,
you're
man.
over here,
Watch these guys.
yeah, subscribe to us too. Just
Actually,
just give us
We're
the
fun.
I do have one more thing that I totally forgot to when we were talking about my tattoos. I kind of mentioned it a little bit, but my man Brett Stuhler, man, Tatooine body art. If you guys are anywhere
Yes.
near the South Jersey area,
Which I need to make an appointment.
go see that dude. Dude, awesome artist.
He's going to be doing mine
yeah.
in March. I'm on his calendar for March, so I'll be getting my first tattoo.
What's his name?
Brett Stuhler. Stuhler. I think that's what it is. Yep, there you go.
Yeah, there it is.
Yep, he is the owner of Tatooine Body Art in Browns Mills, New Jersey.
All right, and we will go ahead and post this on our group as well.
He is the shit. He books out a little bit into the future.
He does.
But that is a testament to his work.
I booked him in mid-December for March. So if you want to get in there, his work is excellent.
Yeah.
He has his Padawan. He's got a Padawan that's actually
yes. I'm actually gonna schedule some stuff with his Padawan. I think his name is Nate. He's doing. He's just he's learning the craft and everything, and he's just doing kind of smalls right now. So I'm gonna get the Mandalorian the Mudhorn logo.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get the Mythosaur skull, and I'm gonna get an Empire logo on here somewhere. Nice. And I think I'm gonna have his apprentice Nate do them.
Yeah, that's good. Give him some business.
Yeah.
Let him get some practice.
If I had any balls at all, I'd probably have him do the fucking what I want done, but I'd rather have the guy that did this fucking amazing work.
I will definitely keep going with Brett for my big stuff. He's phenomenal. He's a great dude.
Yeah. And he's a fellow nerd.
Yes, big. His tattoo shop is called Tatooine Body Art. Come on.
He is the reason
Yes.
that this wall has started.
Because
It was his fucking wheels.
He runs another group called the Tatooine Collector Club.
Yes.
So it's just a bunch of people that collect a bunch of shit. Star Wars, Masters of the Universe, G.I. Joe, whatever the fuck.
He's a
you're
big
into.
Masters of the Universe guy.
Yeah.
Holy shit, dude!
I used to be huge on He-Man.
The walls in his
Huge.
tattoo parlor are covered with toys.
Oh, fucking A.
This dude is a nerd at heart.
It's a good thing we're closing.
Oh yeah, good time to end the stream then, or end the podcast.
Are we still getting audio?
Yeah. Hello. Yeah, we're still getting audio. OBS disconnected, so
Hello.
we might have had a little fuck up with our YouTube stream.
Glitch.
Whatever. Fuck them. I don't give a shit.
Glitch in the Matrix.
We had a glitch in the Matrix.
So, all right. Well, thanks again, Nick, for coming on.
Yeah.
You are more than welcome to join us anytime you ever want. And next week, we already talked about it. We're going to do some kind of Clone Wars.
Yep.
We
Clone
got to
Wars.
start chipping away at this before season 7 comes out.
Yep.
Good episode. Check out the Visual Dictionary. Check us out on Patreon. Patreon.com/ATSW podcast.
Go to podbelly.com
Yep.
and find us there. Find some other podcasts. Let them know that the All Things Star Wars podcast sent you. Leave them 5-star reviews. Leave us 5-star reviews.
Fucking right.
And that's it.
All right. Well,
I think.
Thanks again, everybody. And until next time in the YouTube and everywhere else, may the Force be with you.
May the Force
be with you.
Okay, now what do I click?
Thank you, Kelly and Kim. Nice to have a lot of female presence in the chat for a change.
Yeah, for me to be extremely masochist.
All right. Exporting the audio.
Empire stuff. Lots of Empire stuff.
Lots of Empire stuff.
Empire stuff.
And as much as I joke around about the CGI me, I really do exist. I'm here in the flesh, baby.
Believe it or not, he does exist. I didn't believe it for the longest time. I heard the tales.
It was your
of
own
Nick.
fault. All you had to do is get in your fucking vehicle and drive across the base, and you could have very easily have seen him in my office.
Why do I gotta go to your place? Why don't you come to me?
Because you live in a fucking world where you can't get in and out of it very easily. And fuck, I don't want to go to the 108th campus. Fuck that place.
Yeah.
Take a giant dump in somebody's Cheerios.
So Nick, are you retired? Like, did you do your?
I 23 years and change.
Nice.
Yeah.
So was it all active duty? Was any
Yep.
of it guard or
Nope.
reserves?
All active duty.
All active,
Yep.
huh? What was your primary AFSC throughout most of that?
So I was E&E, so I was a 2A6 X6.
Okay, for the whole career?
Yeah, I was fighters, F-16s and A-10s for about 18 years,
Yeah.
and then came over to the fucking wonderful world of AMC, and dicked around with these things for a little while, but
135s or 10s?
tens.
Oh, yeah.
Well, tens and I was in the maintenance squadron back shops. So I was working 17. I wasn't working on them. I was a master sergeant at the time. So
Yeah.
I was a pro super telling other people to go work on 17s and KC-10s.
When did you start working on the 10s?
KC-10s?
Yeah.
I got here in November of 14.
Okay, that was long after my
Yeah.
time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was on the 10s very well. That was my first assignment, was KC-10s guidance and control for 96 to 2000. So
Yeah.
That's where I met the guy who loves to do anal.
yep, Jim.
Yep.
Yep.
All right.
YouTube
That's-
exclusive.
Yeah,
you know,
that's a YouTube exclusive. Yeah, if you listen to previous episodes of the podcast, we do bring up.
well, he's
the
still
anal guys.
in, and he's over in the 514th right
Get
now.
the fuck out.
Yeah, yeah. He actually crossed over. He's an officer now. Yeah. Last time I talked to him a couple years ago, he was a major
Get the fuck out.
over in the 514th.
Doing
working-
what? As a maintenance officer?
I think so. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. I want to find this dude and be like, dude, I heard you like the fucking pooper.
You like the
Are you into the fucking pooper?
Likes to do butt stuff.
Yeah. Just
Yeah,
Just give it
there you
a,
go.
just go a little bit. Lean into it a little bit.
yeah.
Christ. Dude.
Yeah, I definitely I miss the fighters. Towards
Yeah.
the tail end, I was like, this AMC stuff sucks. I don't like these big aircraft.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
it was funny when I first got here. Because the fighter world and AMC world are two totally different worlds.
I believe it.
And
I only know AMC, but just what I know of AMC, I believe it.
yeah, I started out in the 605th in the KC-10 squadron, and I was they had me originally driving the expediter trucks to kind of get a feel for all the different shops before I started pro souping. And the first week I was there, they're like, you need to pump the brakes a little bit.
Really?
Yeah, they're like, I know you're coming from fighters and it's a different world and tempo, ops tempo is different. But I was getting yelled like in the fighter world. You hear the word red ball.
Oh yeah.
There's a pilot in the jet ready to take off, and they got a problem. That run, go, get to that jet. So like they call red ball, and I'm like, guys are inside, so I come out to support, and I'm like, hey, you guys got a red ball, and blah 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 blah. And they're like, all right, yeah, we're eating breakfast. We'll be out there in a little bit. And I'm like, get your fucking ass on the truck. And like
Yeah.
I'm like getting in people's asses.
Mm-hmm.
Little did I know, on the KC-10, a red ball can happen like 4 hours before takeoff. So
See, that's funny because that's not the way it was back when I was on there. Back, from again 96 to 2000. Red ball meant fucking get your ass to the
Yeah.
goddamn plane.
yeah,
So
But,
I don't know what the fuck happened.
like
During
really,
that
it's
time
like
frame.
technically a red ball can be any time from the time the crew shows up until takeoff. So yeah, it might be something small, but they still got an hour and a half.
So
before
they
they're
still
supposed to
call it
take off.
red ball
Yeah, still
because
call it red ball.
there was a period of
Yes.
time where they were trying to call it red streak.
Red streak,
Get the
which is
fuck out.
which is so much better
Because red ball was too,
Yeah, it's kind of like cockpit.
Yeah,
Can't call it cockpit anymore.
It wasn't politically
It's
correct to call it a red
It's
ball.
the cruise station.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up. It's
I am dead serious.
The fucking cockpit.
You never heard red streak as opposed
I
to
did.
red ball?
I
Oh,
did.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like I said, red streak sounds so much better.
Yeah.
Sounds like something you do in your fucking shorts.
Exactly. Yeah.
Or a broad would do in her shorts.
I was gonna say that, but go
Hey,
ahead.
this is exclusive for the YouTube audience.
Yeah, this is the after show. This is the post audio. So only
Red
those.
Wings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's a whole other thing, but we won't get into that.
Red balls.
What were we talking about?
Got any more crack, Joe Rogan?
Oh my god.
I need more space for pops. I think that's really what it comes down to right now.
God, it's
it's
All of the pops.
Do you ever watch How I Met Your Mother?
occasionally.
Where they have the intervention banner.
Uh-huh.
Like, I think this is the point where you're gonna
Look,
walk in and it's gonna have
listen,
intervention.
Everything that you see, like, is self-imposed fucking moratorium has now been inflicted on the pops. So this is all stuff that was ordered far ago, and now once I pre-ordered the fucking Baby Yoda and Dark Ray
Because you have to.
because that already happened. So I can't control what already happened. Those things are going to show up, but I have other things that I want to procure. Get the.
He was admiring that before you got
I'm
here
sure he
today.
was.
I've been admiring it ever since he stole it from me.
I didn't steal it. I won it fair and square because you got me involved in it.
True.
Hey, come in and get involved in this so I can win these things.
Yeah, like,
and then I win the said things.
Right.
I only told him to get in on it so the wheel would fill up. And
Exactly.
He ends up winning it.
I was like, all right, whatever. There's some cool,
$5, whatever.
there's some cool shit in there, whatever. And I fucking put the bid in there, and then I guess who wins?
Yeah.
And then
Twice in a row.
Then there's another one. I'm like, fine. I'm already ahead of the game. I'm gonna put money on this one. No fucking chance I win. I'm not even paying attention. And this guy's like live streaming,
like texted him, like, motherfucker.
this motherfucker's about to win again. And then I'm head to head against him and win the fucking second batch of them. So that's a lot of these is from those wheels.
Two
from
in a
Brett.
row, it came down to me and him, and he won them.
Yeah.
Wow.
In Brett's shop. So it's like, yeah. And then that's spurred, like you
Motherfucker.
when you springboard off of that, then
You know, once you got the collection started,
You've
Yeah,
opened
it's-
the door. At
you gotta
this
build.
point.
fucking it's not a door, it's Pandora's box.
Right.
It really is because fuck me. God damn it.
Yeah.
What is that? Play around with sound effects and add more to use the Muse Pod. Or maybe I'll play a game on Xbox.
You know what I looked at today that I haven't turned on in forever is fucking Old Republic. Old Republic.
Yeah. On the computer?
Sworder, yeah. Because I had my computer at work and I was like, I'm slaving it to my phone. And like I had to fucking Steam and everything's trying to fucking start after I rebooted. I'm looking, man, I haven't played fucking Old Republic in forever.
I tried. It's still on my PC.
It's
I'm
cool.
not a mouse keyboard guy.
Yeah, if you're not into that style of gameplay, I can see where it would be hard to get into.
I
But
need a controller.
if you can get into it, like the storyline that goes along
The
with it, and the
storyline-
aesthetic and everything
The
else, it's
storyline
like,
is great. The storyline is great. I will 100% buy into that. But there is all this extra shit that's going to make your story experience that much better that I didn't put the time into. Fact is, I had to sit there next to him in the house, and we fucking had our laptops next to each other, and he's fucking walking me through certain shit. Like, oh, you gotta do this, you gotta buy that, and I'm like, like this is an MMO
It's not
thing that
easy.
I'm not
It's-
fucking into.
Yeah.
I'm a Call of Duty guy, right? I want to fucking go in there, spend
Shoot
20
people in the
minutes
face.
shooting people in the face, and then move on with my life.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I'm gonna fold laundry now. Like, oh, I just shot people in the face, was gratified, and now I'm going to fold laundry.
See, that's like my wife. She'll be, she's studying for her nursing boards and everything. So like when she goes in to study, I'll hop on Call of Duty, shoot people in the face. So like that's the only thing. Like tomorrow when she passes her boards,
Yes, she will pass her boards.
Yes.
Positive energy. Yes, here we go.
But then she won't be studying anymore, so I won't have as much Call of Duty time. So
Well,
trade off.
You know what you do
Sad
in celebration? Hopefully she's not listening right now. But in celebration, what you do is you buy her some more plants
Yeah.
because.
Oh my God, the plants.
She has like the amount of plants that are in this fucking house.
Okay,
It's
so she
amazing.
has an Instagram that's called Crazy Plant Lady. Factually accurate.
It's fucking.
But you know
we'll
what?
Just figure this out right now.
But you know what? Like
Crazy.
it's something that she's into and she digs it, and
They're beautiful. Like
You know
like
what?
when you go in there,
Hey.
it's so nice to have like oxygen in the environment and everything
Yeah.
else. But it's like it's one of those things where like this fucking pop wall behind you, it can become
yeah.
You can start cubing out your
Yeah,
space.
but it's something that makes her happy, and I'm all
They have a
about that.
grow
That's
room in
cool.
the house. Like you go
Yeah.
in there, and he said it. He's like, "Yeah, this is the room, and I feel like the FBI is going to show
Yeah,
up."
the
and knock on
neighbors are gonna
fucking
call
door."
the cops because like we got the like purplish kind of glow from grow lights when people are growing weed.
Yeah.
Like that's what comes out of that room in the front of my house, and I'm like, the cops are gonna come knocking on my door.
So is she crazy plant lady PH 87 M K?
There's a lot of crazy plant
Wow,
ladies,
there
huh?
are a
Yeah,
lot of
she's-
crazy-
or just
Oh, so it's
just like
sorry, it's
Kelly
It's
Olsen says, "Good luck, Allie." Yes, good luck.
C-R-A-Z or C-R-A-Y-Z. So
C-
cray-Z
cray
Cray cray.
plant lady. There you go. That one. The one says Ellie.
Right there.
That's-
All right.
And
All right.
honestly, like, look, there's definitely worse things you could be into.
Oh yeah.
And it was like talking about it with Nick, and then when I went to his house, and it's just like, oh yeah, here's the plant room, and
The
it
plant
was
room. It's literally-
there, like the grow lights were going, and there was plants everywhere. I was like, it's nice,
Damn, dude.
but I feel like there's a lot of things that could die in the house. Like it's one of those things where like, oh, I have a day of neglect, and now everything's dead.
Well, and see now, and
Tell
that's
me
the
that's
thing
your
is,
house.
No, that's not my house.
Okay.
Yeah, she went to like a greenhouse or something.
Okay.
But here's the thing: is she took the boys and went to Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
Right after we had bought the house, and she moved all her plants over there and everything. And I couldn't. I was doing stuff, moving and whatnot. So she took the boys, went to Arizona for like a week, and she's like, "You got to take care of my plants while I'm gone." And I'm like, I'm not equipped for this kind of pressure. You know? Like I'm gonna kill all these fucking plants, and
then
she's gonna come
get
back and be
home
pissed at me.
Yeah. And then she's gonna kick the shit out of you because you killed all of her
What
plants.
the fuck did you do to my plants?
And I kept telling her, she's like, well, with these ones you have to do this, and with these ones, I'm like, write it down.
yeah.
I'm not gonna remember this.
Oh, yeah.
develop a fucking checklist, because otherwise these things are going to be dead.
Yeah.
Dead.
Do you want these plants to be alive when you get home? Okay.
Yes.
Give me a step-by-step checklist.
Step-by-step checklist. Did that.
Yes.
Did that.
What's really funny is, like, I know for me, fucking swamp maples are growing out of my fucking gutters before I clean them. Like I was
Yeah.
like, wow,
Yeah.
this is amazing. It's growing out of fucking
Nothing.
asphalt.
Yeah.
Right? You're growing these trees, and when I want my grass to grow, fuck you. fuck you. Oh, you're going to spend money on this? No, we're going to fucking you can watch all the YouTube videos you want. This lawn is going to fucking die. But meanwhile, anything that's growing, like sustaining itself out of the fucking concrete in the gutters with nothing but fucking grit from the goddamn, the asphalt fucking tiles on the roof, whatever they're called, shingles.
Yeah.
From the fucking shingles. Yeah, no, we're gonna grow trees out of that shit. But when I want to grow grass, so go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
So yeah, she's taking her boards tomorrow.
Nice.
She's gonna pass.
She
She's
is
gonna
gonna
go get
pass.
She
get a
will do
job.
it.
Go get a job as a nurse, and then I'll kick back, and she can be my sugar mama.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Live that retired life.
Then
and-
the contractor pay he's getting is going to go to just solely towards his fucking hobbies.
Yeah.
Yeah. He wishes.
Which he really needs to do, because, like, honestly, he's using old equipment. He needs to get new, like, updated equipment. You want to play music and stuff like that. You need state-of-the-art stuff. You need stuff that's going to pick up appropriately the level of acoustics. You can't get a USB mic and fucking expect all digital and expect that shit to sound good. You need good analog pickups. You need good stuff, right?
Yeah.
So, like, to have a good music career and really entertain people, it needs to sound just right. So you need to, and unfortunately, that's expensive.
Yep.
I'll have to take your word for it. I'm not a musician.
Just go with it,
so
Jason.
I've
Jason,
tried-
go with it.
Yes.
We're
Yes.
establishing something here.
Everything he has said is true.
That's right.
I don't care what he said. Everything he said is true.
God damn it, Jason.
I've been trying to learn piano for years, and it's a slow process.
You know how to learn piano? Put a fucking piano in your house.
It's over there in the corner.
No, a real piano.
Oh.
Not a fucking keyboard.
What's
put
the
a
difference?
No, we put a piano in our house, and Kathy plays the shit out of it.
Does she?
Like, we had lessons. We had somebody come in. She got lessons. Having the fucking physical piano in the house made such a huge difference.
Well, shit, tell her to teach me.
Ask her.
All right.
Well, ask her.
Kathy, are you watching? Teach me.
Probably not. Otherwise, she'd be yelling at me more.
Yeah.
But
Oh, God.
yeah.
Might be time to close this up.
Yeah, it probably should be.
We've gone on enough sidebars at this point, so.
But yeah, I know somebody who's a good piano teacher, and I'm sure Kathy would recommend as well. But yeah. Dude, the fucking piano, people are giving them away.
Yeah.
If you pay to have it moved, they just want it out of their fucking house.
Yeah.
They buy a piano, they fucking want it out of their house. I think the piano we got really was inexpensive.
Yeah.
It costs us more to come in and have it like professionally tuned. Like you want to have it tuned. It has to like it's a legit musical instrument. Like you can't just be like, oh, whatever, I'm going to throw this thing in here. No, it has to get the right temperature in your house, and it has to do certain things and get settled. And then, yeah, like humidity in your house and everything else, like the wood.
That's really a thing?
Yeah, think about it. Just think about it. The wood, the expansion and contraction of the wood, and
how does wood
the strings.
get so hard? The wood became hard over 1,000 years ago.
You wouldn't know.
Wow.
But yeah, legitimately, like you can go on Craigslist, South Jersey, yard sale, whatever, and people will be giving away pianos. Just you have to move it. So we paid movers to come move the piano, put it in our house. Is she listening?
I don't know if she's listening or not, but
Jason will appreciate that. But the pianos are easy to get. Upright piano. Come in, you have it tuned, and you sit there. And if you have somebody come in and teach you how to play it, then it's the keyboard. That's fine. If you're Rammstein and you're gonna fucking be on a treadmill and play the fucking keyboard, cool. They're a legitimate artist. Have you not seen that?
No.
Like Rammstein, dude. Like fucking Google that shit.
Like the Du Hast people?
Yes. Google that shit. When they're fucking doing a live show, homeboy on the fucking keyboard is on a goddamn treadmill.
Nice.
Throughout the concert, playing the fucking keyboard.
That's crazy.
I
don't think I could do that. I don't think I could focus on playing a keyboard and actually like walking or running on a treadmill at the same time.
I could run on the treadmill and then I could slam on the fucking
like,
keys.
The second I start like concentrating on keys, I'm gonna fucking do and just fucking. All right, we gotta stop this because it's getting close to my fucking bedtime.
I'm getting yelled at.
Yeah, Nick's gonna get in trouble.
He has a long drive. Like I'm only down the street and you live here.
Yeah,
so.
he's never gonna be allowed back over if we don't let him go. So we're gonna end the stream. Thank you everybody for joining us. You guys are the best. Scott and whoever else is still actually in the chat, Kelly and Scott and Kelly. So
thanks, new listeners. Tune in every week. You know, we might not have Nick every week, but I'm usually just as irreverent, and Jason's just as fucking entertaining. So
irreverent is the exact word I used to describe the podcast when I posted.
Irreverent is the word.
Just give us subscribe. Come on, baby, give me the subscription. I suck your dick. So
yeah, we need to get off of this fucking 300 level. We need to get up to 1,000.
Yeah.
I want it.
Yes.
And you will do it.
All right.
Do it now.
We're ending the stream. Goodbye, everybody. See you next week.
Deuces.
Peace.